Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for joining us this evening. We have a couple exciting things here. Let me get my chatty chat set up here. My chittity chat. Chat. Okay, great. All right, so let's go ahead and say what's up to all the channel members. I mean, almost every single one of y'all are channel members. This is crazy. I appreciate you guys so much. More than you know, more than you know. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. We got yeah, we got some exciting stuff to go over. So anyway, breaking news. Mike McClune was first this evening. God, man, I gotta be honest. I kind of hate that breaking news thing, right? Everywhere you look, every article, every YouTube, every YouTuber, every YouTube title, it's like breaking news, breaking news. Like last night, oh, I'll get into it. Last night, I watched a live stream about breaking news, and remind me, I'll tell you guys all about it. Y'all are gonna laugh because through this, I also found out that I have been banned from Black Scout Survival live streams. So y'all are gonna love that. Anyway, Mike McClune, my man, congratulations on being first, my dude. You, sir, not only are you a channel member, but you were also first. So you get at least one high five. Congratulations. Which, yes, I know that sounds more like a whip sound, but hey, I'm limited here in my whatchamacallit, my sound effects. Okay, let's go ahead and welcome all of our channel members. We got Kurt24, channel member. Of course, Mike McClune, who was first this evening, channel member. We got my guy, Toy Town Inc. What's up, brother? Another channel member. We got too many choices. 9mm for the win. What was that? And the NFA is unconstitutional as applied to individuals, as applied to anybody 100%. Although I would not recommend that anyone break the law or the NFA. 717 Rider, what's up, brother? Another channel member. Great to see you. Uh, sorry, I was holding that in for a minute. Okay, what other channel members? We got Mike McClune, Too Many Choices, Toy Town Inc. We got Dang Old Matt. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Another channel member. Blue Curtain Burner. Blue Curtain Burner, were you prior to this? Were you in here under another username or something? Are you newer to the stream? Or I think you were the first one, or the well, what was it? Tuesday was the first stream that I noticed your username on. If not, my apologies. Welcome, or if you've been here for a while, welcome. Welcome back. Bow now. Take it now. Y'all remember that? All right. Anyway, Joe Morris, my guy. What's up, brother? Another channel member. We got Fluffy Bunny Arsenal. And honestly, doesn't our community, like our viewership, don't y'all have like the coolest names out of everyone anywhere forever? I mean, I love the names. Come on. Joe Moore, 717 Rider, Mike McClune, Rusty Shackelford. What's up, brother? Another Chinamemba. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Another Chinamemba. Live Life, Alabama in the house. What's up, brother? Another Chinamemba. BV Lumi. What's up, my guy? Another Chinamemba. Ron Bear. What's up, Brand? What? What's up, brethren? Oh, here we go. Okay, sorry, my chat. What do you call it? It updated. Ron Bear, what's up, brother? Another Chinamemba. Agarizer, my guy, what's cracking? Another Chinamemba. Zanti Misfits, what's up, player? Another Chinamemba. Let's see. Johnny Ba, what's up, brother? Another Chinamemba. Taco, send a kit. Another Chinamemba. Great, great to see you. BV Luminous, come out in PLA. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Another Chinamemba. DJ Play Nice. Another Chinamemba. Dang, look at all this. This is crazy. Agarizer, Existence Mundane, my guy. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Kurt 20 Kurt, did I say hi to? Okay, just to be clear, Kurt 20 another Chinamemba. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Come out in PLA, Johnny Ba, Existence Mundane, Taco Syndicate, BV Luminous, 717 Rider. Come out in PLA. Hey, S Armitage. What's up, fam? Good to see you. Another Chinamemba. And we got to get you back on the show too to do a little update too. See how you're doing, man. I keep forgetting to get in touch with you, and like we text each other and shit too. So that's my bad. My bad. My B. Let's see. Taco Syndicate, Zanti Misfit, BV Luminous Agorizer, Mike McLean, come out in PLA. Still one of my favorite names. Come out in PLA because come out and PETG was taken. So, you know. Let's see. DJ Play Nice. Come on, PLA, Kurt 20 Foes, Anti Misfit, Agorizer, Taco Syndicate, which I'm a little jealous because Kurt 24 sent me a picture on Instagram of like a bunch of Gideon Optics shirts. And I'm like, bro, what? I don't have a Gideon Optics shirt. And Crump and Rich and all these guys are popping up with these Gideon Optics shirt. I'm like, man, those look great. I wish I had one. But until then, all I have is this, which has actually been excellent. I may take it out to the Tactical Turkeys training this coming up weekend. Goombeam, what's up, fam? Another Chinamemba. Great to see you. Let's see, DJ Play Nice, come on, PLA, Zanti Misfit, Blue Curtain. Let's see, Johnny Ba. Let's see. Aaron, what's up, brother? Great to see you, man. Appreciate you joining. Taco, Armitage, come on, PLA. Slide Bite, my guy. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Another Chinamemba. Joe Morris, BB Luminous, Kurt 24. Safety Haba. What's up, my guy? Thank you. Walt is like the best. And my neck, my back. Eat some Advil for a snack. What? It's crazy. Okay, let's see. Armitage, DJ Play Nice. Come on, PLA. Oh my gorshness. Okay, come on, PLA, Rusty Shackelford, Joe Morse, come on, PLA, Kurt 24, boom, great to see you. Dang, I got a Gideon shirt with the mediator, so that's the one I need for reasons that I'll get into here shortly. Safety Harbor Firearms. If you guys are ever curious, Safety Harbor Firearms is like the place to go to. Also, there's a .com that some people talk about. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it may be called Sten Parts. So if you need to check out a place like that, I think you'd be surprised. Like I think right now, this is your permission slip to log off for a quick second, all right? And then go check out Sten Parts, with that last part, the dot part. And yeah, take a look around, and Safety Harbor, they do some AS, bomb AFS. Yeah, they do some cool shit. Flying Rich, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Flying Rich, the unofficial co-host of the show. Slim 223, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. G23, what's up, brother? Great to see you. And let's see. I think I saw some other honorable mentions here. G23. I saw Vicky. Good to see you, Vicky. Who else? I saw a couple other here. Then we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, man. I think that's it. Yeah, dang, Vanessa Kitty, great to see you. All right, so anyone else that I missed, do me a favor. Hey, Gort, there you are. What's up, brother? DLD says that's actually a good like title for DLD says, right? I could do like a DLD says, you know, never underload your magazines, right? For all these guys that are like, I put 28 rounds in my PMag. Why? Why? Don't do that. No. Matter of fact, pro tip before I bring the guest on, put 30 rounds in your PMag and then let the last 3 be tracers so you can get a visual when you are about to run dry on ammo. Just saying, it helps a lot. I want to ride. What's up, brother? Great to see you. Another channel member. And too many choices, my guy. Get started. Let's get it started. All right, great. So let's go ahead and take a moment to bring on my esteemed colleague. Now, some of you may have seen him from the internet. Some of you may have seen his YouTube channel. Babyface P actually had his channel removed by YouTube. And then YouTube came back and said, you know what? We may have acted a little aggressively here. We'll bring it back for you. So Babyface Peasy came right back. Hey, what's up, brother? Like, what was that? What patch was that?
This is a sticker that somebody sent me of, hold on, Peggy from King of the Hill, all tatted up.
Wow, that's
I
gangster.
have no idea why they were sent to me, but it came in a box of other stuff, so I still have it here.
With the Tejas flag in the background.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Let's see, JC9, what's up, my guy? Good to see you. And anyone else I missed, I apologize, but I'll make sure we say what's up to you throughout the show. So, Babyface P, while I go ahead and pull up the article that we were discussing earlier, you want to take a moment to reintroduce yourself and let everyone know who you are, what you do, and where they could find you.
YouTube.com/babyfaceP. I make well, I've been actually pretty good lately. I make content building stuff, tearing stuff apart and putting it back together, cleaning, fixing old things, making them kind of new again. That's what I've been focused on lately. I started out by building AKs, and there's only so many AKs you can build. And then lately it's been, I actually have a project downstairs that I still have not. I told them it would be out yesterday. I still haven't put it out. The intro to it. I have a Model 11 shotgun from 1911
Oh,
that
nice.
is getting overhauled from a company called Old Arms of Idaho. They sell gun parts, like estate sale gun parts and stuff like that. So I need to go get that filmed because I still haven't done it. But yeah, no, that's what I do. Right now, it's a lot of, and I have more, thanks to Safety Harbor Firearms, I have more projects coming down the pike, which is propane powered pleasure device. This is what Walter says.
Yikes.
Yeah, Walter, if you want this is yours. I know you have a Peggy in your life, and I thought you would like this, so I might bring it with me. He's got some projects for me that I'm going to be taking on as well. So we got lots and lots of stuff to work on.
Now, for people that don't know, though, excuse me, let them know what a Model 11 is.
Browning Auto 5. Do you guys know what Browning Auto 5? It's the long recoil shotgun. It was kind of the first good semi-auto shotgun to ever hit the market. The Browning 5 is the original.
The whole barrel recoils.
Yeah, whole thing reciprocates. If you want to see, actually, my last couple videos were redoing a Remington Model 81, which is just the same thing as a Remington Model 8. Same exact action, but it's a rifle with a internal box magazine instead of a shotgun. Really, really cool.
Nice.
And there's some parts to it. You guys can go watch the video, but there's some parts to the Remington Model 8 that fit nicely into two of my collections. One, I like John Browning stuff. I can't show off what I have, but I have John Browning stuff on my desk. And I make AKs, and the safety on the Model 8 is where the AK safety idea comes from. That's my thought on the whole thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Auto 5 is first semi-auto shotgun. They're really, really cool. Browning was such a badass that he sold the Auto 5 prints to FN and said, go ahead and produce this for the European market. FN had no interest in producing it for the American market. So then he went back to them and said, hey, well, let me use the plans, take it to an American company, and we'll make it there too, and I'll make double the money. So the Auto 5 was being produced in Europe. He came to Remington and said, hey, I got this thing. FN's already producing the shit out of them and people love them. Why don't we make one? And Remington's like, fuck yeah, let's make it. They did some reworking, changing a couple things, and then they produced it as well. But it's an awesome shotgun.
One of the cool things, my first introduction to that firearm, the Model 11 specifically, was and guys, for everyone here, I should have put the title like all these other YouTubers are doing: nuclear war imminent, breaking news, right? Because we're going to talk about something that just happened today that was just publicized today. But before we get to that, that's why no one comes in my chat and yells at me, but I need to talk about the Black Scout survival thing regarding that too. So I'll get to that in a moment. But my first introduction to the Remington Model 11 12 gauge, I knew what the Browning A5 was, what the Auto 5 was, but at the time I was working at a gun shop, and this guy had brought in, I think it was something that he actually, um, it was gifted by like an older family member or somebody that passed away or something like that. But when he brought it in, it was there was no serial number on it,
Ooh,
and because it
old.
was, yep, very old. It was pre GCA, pre 1968, and I remember looking at it and I was like, oh, that's a Browning, A5, no doubt. Like I know that, and he was like, "Well, I thought it was 2," but then we started looking at it, and, I got this whole rundown because I couldn't find anything other than, like, Model 11 on it, basically, and I was like, It's gotta be some, bullshit, like, Filipino hut copy of of the
Mm-mm.
auto, right?" And then I
Mm.
got this whole rundown by the owner of the FFL that kinda explained the whole thing about the copies and about the licensing agreements and all that stuff, and it was interesting because, I mean, it's just as cool. It's parts compatible. I don't know if it's, is it all parts compatible?
There are some things that are left out and changed on the Remington design. The quickest one you'll notice is on the left side of an Auto 5. It has a magazine disconnect, so you can single load and then keep the tube from recycling.
Mm,
The Remington doesn't. They got rid of that. You can't turn the magazine off on a Remington. But who
gotcha.
cares? It's a semi-auto shotgun. I want to blast the f out of it. I don't
Yeah,
care. I'm
yeah.
not turning the magazine off. What are you
Yeah,
thinking?
who would wanna do that? God, that's like,
If you I don't know if you screen share, you go to my Instagram. The last post I made is the Model 11, um,
let me
and
see.
it's a beautiful piece. It's I think what they call it. It's a D model. It's 11D, so it's
Ooh,
tournament grade.
I see this was that a 1903 or 1908,
Uh,
the Colt?
oh, that's actually what's sitting on my desk. I just picked that up last weekend. Yeah, that's a Colt Pocket Vest,
Nice, the 25
1908.
ACP.
Yeah, I've been wanting again, John Browning.
Yeah,
I have this thing where I want to put one of all the guns that I can get my hands on. I want to put one of each one of his designs in my safe.
nice.
Um,
Dude, that's, I love those Vest Pocket 25s. Those
I haven't
things.
shot it yet. It's sitting on my desk. I did a little bit of cleanup. It's really cool.
Yeah. Have you seen the larger 380s and 32 ACPs? The
I have one of
190.
those.
Oh, do you?
It's 1903 pocket hammerless. I have
Yeah,
a
yep.
1903. The
It's so
32
funny.
is my. This is going to sound real weird to a lot of people, but the 32 is my favorite cartridge.
Oh, dude, it's incredible. That, so the 32 ACP, for people that may not know, it was like the duty gun caliber in, the Eastern European part of the world
Yeah,
for nearly
yeah.
100 years.
The
Like,
that
that's
one,
crazy.
what's his name? The famous general from World War II. I can't think of his name. Patton, General
Mm,
Patton, carried a Colt 1903 hammerless around World War II. That was his like sidearm. He had
nice.
that. He had a couple different guns, but he carried a 1903.
And what is
Uh,
that? Like 8 plus 1, something like
yeah,
that?
yeah, I think
Yeah,
something like that.
8 plus 1.
Um,
That's crazy, man.
if you've never gotten a chance, uh, suppressing a 32, yeah, look at the scroll work on that thing. How beautiful is that?
Man, that is pretty. That
So,
is
and I
pretty.
imagine this is done in 1911. It had to have been done by hand. That was not. I can't imagine that was stamped or done by a machine. That had to be hand done.
Yeah,
Um,
it's hard to see. Let me see, because it usually doesn't show IG pictures super well.
it doesn't look bad on my side.
Yeah, it doesn't look too
Um,
bad. I just blew it up.
but yeah, so that's going to get torn down. The idea is we're going to tear that down, clean it up because you can see there's from some of the pictures you can see there's a little bit of rust on it and spots. We're going to
Mhm.
re-rust blue it. So I'm not going to take it all the way down to the white, but I'm going to
Mhm.
re-rust blue it so it gets nice and pretty blue. Then we'll put it back together and test fire. That's the way. And we might work on the wood too.
A lot of people don't know this, but you are highly skilled when it comes to things like that, and I would say you're highly skilled when it comes to things like that.
I'm smart enough to be dangerous. I'm just crazy enough to be dangerous with my tools.
I know you would probably say that, you're in the intermediate, level, but just
that
the some of the things that, like, roll off your tongue, like, you understand metalworking to the point of saying, bringing it down to the white, and,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
things like
I
that.
mean, Walter has another one that Safety Harbor just commented, Winchester Model 1890, which is the lever action shotgun that he came
Mm,
up with. It's another
yeah, yeah.
Browning design. Walter has an original 10 gauge, and I want to shoot that thing.
Ooh. I
But
always wanted the now that was the Terminator
yeah,
shotgun,
Terminator
right?
gun. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Chiappa made a I'm
12
surprised
gauge
to say
clone.
it. Yeah, they made a really good clone. Also, Chiappa did, but Century Arms imported really good clones. They were so
Are you talking the
effing
Narinkos?
heavy though.
Because there are Narinko clones out there that came in before the '94 ban that
I
are
think
also.
Century built them.
Oh, Century. Oh, that I'm surprised they made anything.
Yeah, I know.
the
It's surprising.
if you ever find the Narinko 1890 clones that came in way back when, they are fantastic. Most of the Narinko stuff that came in before 1994, most of them were awesome guns. Their
Yeah.
1911s were fantastic. Their 1890 clones are great. They made model 97s and model 12 shotguns, which were really cool. Most of the Narinko stuff is not garbage.
Yeah, no, Norinco, they made some really good stuff. Shout out to you, John Crump is at it again. He gave another 5 channel memberships away.
What?
Man, bro, thank you. He came on to my last stream and he gifted throughout the show 60 channel memberships to people. Like it's
That's why
crazy.
there's so much green over here. I was wondering.
Yeah.
Why there's so much
Well, the
green.
funny thing is even prior to that, I had about 100 channel members.
Holy
And
cow!
yeah, and I'm at like just under 4,200 subscribers, and now
Yeah,
it's funny. It's get man, Crump. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate
it's
you,
just
brother.
and it's just consistency and mostly good content and
Yeah,
consistency. That's what people want. They want to see you produce your content consistently. And yeah,
yeah, and I think we do a lot of boring shit
Narinko
around here
S.
too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. S.
No, you're good.
Armitage says Narinko broom handle Mausers are nice. I didn't know they made broom handle Mausers,
What?
but I'm gonna try
Dude,
to find one of those.
that's crazy. It's you if you need to run for your little one too, let me know, man. You're welcome.
My wife's. Could you hear that?
A little bit, just
Oh
just
no,
a tad.
she's going to. It's we put him down a little bit earlier tonight, so he's probably just now waking up a little hungry.
Oh yeah, yeah, I got you. It's the cult of DLD. Thank you, Johnny Bar. I appreciate you. Chamber Defense, what's up, brother? Good to see you, another channel member. And Murphy's Law, my guy, good to see you in the stream, man. Gift
This is
bomb,
like
thank you.
it's like politics. The money comes
Yeah.
in from the outside source. The politician goes and buys out sponsorships on all of his friends' channels to
Yeah.
launder the money out.
See that's how he's. Crump knows all about
He knows
that.
everybody. Yeah.
Oh
Hey,
yeah,
did you?
and
Oh, you got your name up in lights the other day. I thought that was fun.
yeah, that was the
I
second time.
I loved it. Who posted about it?
You text me actually. You were like,
Yeah,
"So your
yeah,
name is out there, bro." I was
yeah.
like, "Yeah, I know, I know." Murphy's Law, bro. Hey, don't feel bad about that at all. Like, you guys got to take
No,
care of you and your
no.
family first. So don't
Yeah.
worry about that.
The people that are funny to me. I'm sorry I can't subscribe. I was like, my man, I don't care. This is
Yeah, you're here.
okay.
You're here. You're part of the stream, and don't worry about
Have
any of that.
you, on the flip side of this, have you ever seen? There was one that went viral and famous. Some girl on not TikTok, streaming platform, Twitch. She was a Twitch streamer. She went off on her male simpy fans for not subscribing to her channel, um,
What?
because they were basically using her. You guys are here for free. You're just using me for my content. You need to be subscribing. And it's like the internet went ham on her ass. It's like, are
Oh
you
my god,
fucking serious?
that is the
Hey,
worst thing you could do. That's
Shooting Gallery
crazy.
Shooting Gallery. This pocket vest is actually came from Shooting Gallery's the gun store that he works at. So
Oh, for the one that he currently works at in Florida.
yeah. He
Nice,
posted
man.
funny story. He posted just took a picture of it like on a Friday one time, like a month ago. Posted a picture of him. This one
Yeah.
and there were two of them. It was the Colt pocket vest and a
Yeah.
Mauser model. No, yeah, it was a Mauser Model 8. No,
Nice.
Walther Model 8. Excuse me. Same
Oh,
time
okay.
frame,
Okay.
20s, 30s.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that's really cool. And he's like, yeah, the owner put him up on consignment. They're for sale. And I was like, ask him how much he wants. And he was like, that was $200. And I was like, Tell
What?
him, I'm calling right now. I'm taking it. And then
Yes, take my credit card.
I sent a picture of it to Hank and Walter, Safety Harbor Firearms, and Walter, I'm driving to dinner. I had already settled my tab. I already called, put it on late. I was like, here's my credit card, take it. I'll pick it up in a month whenever I'm down that way.
Yeah.
Walter gets quiet. We don't get any text messages from him for like 15 minutes. And he's like, yeah, you guys can shoot the Model 8 if you want. I was like, you bought it, didn't you? He's like, yeah, I bought it.
Oh my God.
So
That's
he
the
would have
worst.
picked up his, but yeah, that's where the vest pocket comes from.
Dude, I had that's awesome, by the way. And Shooting Gallery New England, well, Shooting
Now,
Gallery
yeah.
official, Shooting Gallery
Official.
Florida, whatever. Shooting Gallery, shout out to you, my guy. And everyone go check out his channel if you haven't already. He has a podcast, he has Instagram and all that stuff, so check him out. So have you seen one of the nickel vest pocket?
I've seen them.
Those things are pretty badass.
I'm always afraid of nickel guns because once they
Yeah.
start flaking, it is.
Oh yeah. It gets bad.
I have my first 1911 is a two-tone from the 70s, the 70 series, blued on top, nickel on bottom, and the
Is it an
nickel.
actual Colt?
Yeah, it's a Colt 70 series.
Nice.
The nickel is flaking off of the bottom horribly, and I've never fixed it because it's a pain in the ass to re-nickel a gun. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a lot of work. Most of the bluing and things like that I do at home is not hard. It's just kind of time consuming. Yeah. Nickel is a pain in the ass. You have to use like caustic chemicals and shit.
It is.
I've never fixed it.
It's basically like a consumable finish. Like it has a life, a limited lifespan. And sometimes when especially when you're getting some of the classics, if you do pick up like a vest pocket or 1903 or 05 or 08, whatever the fuck, right? Depending on what you get, it may not have been nickel from the factory, right? So
somebody sent me, I can't remember who it was, today or yesterday, somebody sent me a message on Instagram of a 1903. No. Oh, hurt my heart. They sent me a picture of a World War II Colt 1911, military marked, U.S. property, Army marked, everything.
Nice.
It was a Remington Rand, I think. It wasn't a Colt. That somebody post-war had taken and nickel plated the entire thing, and I was just like, "Are you serious?"
Dude,
but again, terrible. It was a $40 gun, or probably not even, probably a $20 pistol back after World War II.
It was like a flex, right?
Yeah,
like,
I got a nickel coated.
Yeah. Do you remember when Dracos were just John Crump? I dime all my guns, not nickel. I dime all my guns.
Dime them all.
Do you remember when Dracos were like everywhere and they were like 275 to 350 and they were just like you couldn't go anywhere without a Draco, sitting on a shelf at a gun shop. Like then they started just putting shit all over them, like crazy furniture with lasers. It's like, all right, dude, like chill out with it, right? Like no one's gonna want it more with a bunch of $40 Chinese lasers on it, but like they were all over the place. So I ended up buying a Draco. Damn, holy shit! It is probably more than 10 years ago. But anyway, I had no idea that they were going to dry up a little bit more. And then also all these other companies started coming out with similar style AK pistols. But
Zastavas and
yeah, and then even like the INCs, which in my opinion they suck. But
no, that's not just your opinion. IO never made a good rifle ever.
Never.
Not a single thing they put out was quality.
Or a good pistol.
Nothing they made was quality.
Anything. Somebody out there is gonna be like, but I got mine and I've put 74 rounds through
it. One of the points that I like to make is you can put together a real turd of an AK and it will run perfectly. That's the beauty of the simplicity of the AK. Yeah, it will run. You can have the irons canted. You can have the whole thing flexed. It'll still run.
For sure.
But that's not how it's supposed to be put together. The rivet heads should be flat against the receiver. They shouldn't be bowed on one side.
Yep. IO AKs are POS. Yep. Safety Harbor. You got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, IO's not still around. I think they went under. I think they got bought out. I think they got bought out by like Century or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing stuff that I was like, dude, that's totally an IO IO INC gun, but it was like, introducing the Hell Pup or whatever. I'm like, What?
You
So
know,
I
it's funny. Walter Safety Harbor again has a hell pup.
mhm.
Son of a bitch runs. It's just
Yeah.
not pretty.
Yeah.
It's an ugly dog, but it works.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, like you said, it's the design that,
Mhm.
keeps those guns, reliable. So even if the fit and finish sucks, even if your dust cover pops off mid-fire,
It'll keep
even if your
going.
sights yeah, it will
Yeah,
run. So, I'll
yeah.
get for 100%, I'll give that to it. Same thing with Glocks, right? Like, I wanted a 19X. At the time, they were like $700, some
Mhm.
or even more when they first came out, and I was like, "You know what? I don't want to spend that." So I bought a stripped 19X or a complete 19X lower for like 250,
Mhm.
and then I bought a complete 19X upper for like 185, and I was like,
How did you? And
"When?"
yeah, how'd you wind up with that? People wanted to split them, I guess.
So they sell them on Gunbroker all the time. What happens is when dealers buy Glocks, if they're buying like 10 Glocks, they'll get like basically they'll pay for 9 of them and get one of them free, or I forgot the exact number, but
Yep.
like most distributor deals.
Mhm.
Um and they can either take it and spread the discount across all 10, or mark up all 10, whatever,
Mhm.
depending on what increments they buy them in. They could have bought 150 of them, but every like 7th or 10th one is free. But what these guys are doing now, instead of just you know grossing $50 off of each gun, what they're doing is they're separating the frame, selling the frame separately, and then like on Gunbroker, and then they're taking the slide, the lower parts
It-
kit, the barrel, and then they're
They're
selling those
more
on eBay or
there.
whatever.
I've found that nobody wants the frame because of the 3D printing and making your own things.
Yeah.
So the frames are. The last time I bought a Glock frame, because I like the feel. I have a couple Polymer 80s, but I like the feel
Hmm.
of the Glock frames.
Yeah,
They've always shot well for me, and I think they feel great in my hand. So I'm used to it.
I agree. Yep.
Um, I bought a Glock frame. It was before the pandemic. Trump was still in office. I think I paid $40 for it was a 17/22
Hmm.
full size frame. I think I paid $40 for it. It was almost the same amount to ship it and transfer it that it
Yeah.
was for the actual frame. And that
So
had
that's how
everything
it
in
should
it.
be.
Locking block, everything. Like it was all there.
Lower parts kit and
Lower
all that stuff.
everything was there. $40. They wanted it
Okay,
gone.
that's an
It was
excellent deal.
crazy good deal.
The literally the best price I've ever purchased a factory OEM Glock lower for was like 39.99,
Mhm.
and it was a stripped 43
Oh,
lower.
maybe it was stripped. Maybe it didn't have the locking block. Because now I think about it, I think I had to go on eBay and get a locking block.
See, mine
Um,
had a locking block but no lower parts kit. But now, when everything happened with the polymer 80s and separation of the
they
frames and jigs and all
they
that.
rip the slides off and sell those for crazy high.
Yep, but what happened is, the frames that they used to sell for $100, then they kind of went up a little bit, right? When people
Mhm.
stopped buying polymer 80s, they did start going to Gunbroker and,
Buying the
started buying
clocks.
them exactly the factory lowers. And what happened is the prices on those things, when you bring more traffic to any
Mhm.
inventory, like whether it's guns or houses or cars or whatever it is, um the typically what happens is the pricing goes up. Now
Mhm.
they're like
They were they're
$275.
act yeah, I've seen them as high as like 250 for Glock
Yeah.
lowers, for factory Glock lowers, and I was laughing because I'm like, my opinion, for 250, you wait a little bit, and I guarantee you'll find a surplus police Glock 22.
Oh yeah.
I bought a surplus Glock 22 for like 220, not that before the pandemic. You get the
Yeah.
whole fucking gun, and
Yeah,
then
they
you can
got
either just rebarrel it, do the conversion barrel, or
mhm.
buy a 17 upper, make your own 17 upper, make it work. Like,
Yep, yep.
why would I pay $220 for a Glock frame? That's crazy.
Most of them are like, so and this is where it gets crazy. So I was like, "You know what I want? I love my 19X, but there's some things I don't love about it." Oh my god, Rudy Finney just gifted 5 channel memberships. Bro, thank you, man. You guys are awesome. Hey, Murphy's Law. See, this is what happens. Murphy's Law was just gifted a membership when he was saying, "Hey, sorry, I can't renew my
Yeah,
membership."
yeah. Good things come to those who are nice.
Yep, M. Gabriel was gifted a membership. We the People was gifted a membership. Descentient and Glint Noves. Hell yeah, you guys are awesome. Gerchop, good to see you. Babyface P Gerchop wants you to say hello to him as well.
Hi, Gerchop. Gerchop?
See?
That's literally how it's pronounced. Gerchop?
Yeah, sometimes people call him Gerchapo, but Gerchop is fine
El
too.
Gerchapo?
El Gerchapo. Yeah.
Hi,
Um,
El Gerchapo.
uh, Dark, have you heard anything about P80 supply problems? Been waiting months for my frames. So
Oh.
here's an interesting thing about Polymer 80. Have I heard anything about their problems with supply and delivery? Only since they were created as a company. They suck at everything. Look, I've built dozens and dozens and dozens of them. I These boxes aren't just decoration. If I could show you, matter of fact, here you go. Let me just, for OPSEC reasons, be cautious about the picture I'm about to take. But here's my phone. All right, I'm taking a picture.
I'm
Oh
assuming
God,
those boxes have to be empty, right?
yeah, they wouldn't be
Okay.
able to be held up with thumbtacks. But just at my door here, let me make sure there's nothing else in the picture.
Oh, those are empty or full
These are
boxes?
empty. So what happens is in the padded envelopes that I sell jigs and stuff like that, if I can fit one of those in there,
Mm-hmm.
but the box is way too big for just a jig, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I do is I take it out, I put it in one of the little smaller USPS boxes, and I can fit multiple, to at least two, sometimes more. And then I put this big 4x6 F the ATF sticker on it, kind of like a seal, so you can see if the box has been tampered with.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious because it looks like the ATF officer is looking over the edge of the box too.
Mm-hmm.
So I keep taking these boxes out, taking these boxes, I keep throwing them out, and I would just get this huge pile, and I'm like, let me just set it up, and then I take some out to the trash, and my fear is, okay, if I throw away 250 Polymer 80 boxes and my neighbors see that, they're gonna be like, this dude has
You
like
gotta
a
drive around town and just throw them in random dumpsters 5 at a time.
so I've exhausted some local options. I'll say that. But
Just 50-gallon drum, hobo fire. Make a
oh
50-gallon drum, hobo fire. Just start chucking them in. Take them to
God,
the
that's a
local
great
local
idea.
hobos and be like, "Listen, I got kindling for a year for you guys. Don't tell
So
anybody where they came from."
I also got yeah, right. I also got a bunch of pallets from when I get the jigs delivered. And everyone out there, if you need jigs or anything else, go to DLD hardware and you'll be able to burn them. Cali prep. Yep, same idea, good idea.
Mhm.
So what put them in Crumpy's garbage. He's down for conflict. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
just
a good
just
idea.
go to his house and dump a ton of them in his garbage.
Well, I always wanted to do a like a P80 brick wall, right?
Mhm.
And I
I
was
think
like,
you got
that'd
enough.
be yeah, I could do that. But I started like once I put this up, I was like, fuck, that's a lot of work, right? But also like I remember when I used to order jigs, they wouldn't come in boxes because the whole jig being separate thing was so new with polymer 80s. They would just come shipped like loosely, right?
Mhm.
And I would just get them and then I put them in USPS boxes. And I was like, man, I wish I had like a couple hundred of these boxes so I could make like a P80 brick wall. And then like 6 months later, I'm like, I never want to see another P80 box for the
Yeah,
rest of my life. So
again.
be careful what you ask for, guys.
Yeah.
Kurt, thank you, Kurt, by the way, for putting all the he put up your Instagram, your channel, and
Oh,
put
thank
up
you.
DLD
Thank you,
hardware
thank
too.
you.
So thank you, brother. Um, I just dropped the empty boxes at the ATF field office. Oh my
Hey,
god.
I have this truckload of these. Can I dispose of them here? They'd probably
Yeah.
be excited thinking that they were full and then drive off before they can look in them. Be
Yep.
like, nah,
Yep.
fucking empty boxes, all yours.
They'd probably take them to Fat D and find a way to turn one of the boxes into an illegal
The
machine gun
machine gun, yeah.
and then charge
You know
me.
what you could do? You live in a really nice part of the country. I don't know if you have a ghetto, but if you do, you should
Yeah.
drive to the ghetto and just throw one out the window and then film from like
Just
a
toss
block
it.
over.
See
Watch
people run
somebody,
out
they're
in the
gonna be
street.
like, "What the? Oh,
Uh,
shit."
put like some kind of weight in it or something
Yeah,
like
make it
that.
feel heavy. It jiggles.
Yeah. So Gerchop, I actually carry a Polymer 80 often. I usually carry my 43X or my 19X, but I carry my Polymer 80s all the time once they've
See,
proven themselves.
man against the
Um,
masses.
Drop at
You just
ATF office so Dark would dispose of
you
them
just take them
at
to work
work.
with you.
Yeah, just take them to work, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, don't make jokes like that, guys. You know I don't have a job right now. Jeez. Anybody in chat too, if you've carried a P80, if you try Gerchop he's probably trolling. Gerchop has this idea that polymer 80s are lesser than Glocks, that they don't work, that they're not reliable, and that just couldn't be further from the truth. It's all about the builder. All about the builder
100%.
and the parts.
It takes you 20 minutes to do 98% of the work required to make a polymer 80, and it could take you another 6 hours of
Yeah.
nice hand fitting to make it perfect.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
realize that. Yeah, it's easy. I can grind out a polymer 80 in like 15 minutes and it'll function. But to
Yeah.
do like the nice hand fitting and remove all the seam lines across the top and things like that
Yeah.
takes time.
Yeah. Jesus, excuse me. Yeah, it's I'd say I probably put 6 hours into a frame.
Oh yeah, easy,
Roughly.
easy.
Yeah.
But when it's something you enjoy doing, it doesn't feel like work. You sit in front
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
TV with a file or sandpaper, and it gives you
Yeah,
something to do.
it's exactly it. See, before, like when I first started building a few, and I still have my first few builds.
I'm reading your comment, and it's making me enraged. Just
Can you ask Mr. P what mistakes he made on his first set me build that he will
fucking
be?
building it was the first mistake. Building it.
Oh, yikes!
Okay. So first mistake is don't buy. First mistake, don't buy a cheap flat. The LCS flats are a little bit more expensive.
Mhm,
I think the cheap flats run like $70. The LCSs are like 150, something like. So it's considerably more. Go with
mhm.
the LCS flat. Do not buy the cheaper flat unless you have a straightening mandrel. And nobody has a straightening mandrel. I know that because I know how many people are constantly asking to use mine, and I tell them to F off because I'm not sending a $500 piece of unobtainium through the mail to them
Oh,
and
hell
hoping
no,
like hell it comes back.
no.
It's not that I don't trust y'all. I don't trust the postal service. That's just the way it is.
Can we just say, let me just bring this up. If Farmer James is in chat, you borrowed somebody's MUP one jig and you still haven't brought it back. Okay, so people borrow stuff and they
Yeah,
forget to or mean
yeah,
to. You could be the best guy in the world,
yep,
right? Greatest guy in the world, but oh man, I
yep.
forgot to. I'm late to or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Go
So
ahead.
yeah, it's one of those things where I need it once every 3 years, but I don't want to go looking for it. I want to know that it's in that drawer over there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, buy first thing is buy an LCS jig. I'm sorry, buy an L. It's either LSC or LCS is the company.
the
RTG
flat.
sells them. Yeah, buy that flat. Don't go for the cheaper flat. The flat that I bought is the cheaper flat, and it was a nightmare to bend because it wasn't stamped perfectly. LCS stamps them flawlessly. Go with that. My MP5 that I built on an LSC flat.
Mm.
And I had no problem. It bent perfectly. It lined up perfectly. I did a weld. Everything worked the first time. I didn't even have to do anything. Well, Rich, if you want to borrow tools, I can got them. I know how to find you and I know where you live, so you can borrow them. And because
Yeah.
I can hunt you down. And
Some
you have to,
people can borrow them. Not
yeah.
everyone can borrow.
If you transport it here and back yourself, you can borrow it. I'm not sending it through the mail. That's my
Yeah,
one thing. Is it's like it weighs a f ton because it's a solid chunk of steel.
yeah.
The last time somebody made mandrels, guy's name goes by Marble Duck. He made 10 of them as a project. All 10 sold out immediately. I got one of them,
Mm.
and people are now begging for them. And I'm trying to find a way to build one. But what about RTG flats and HK flats? Um, the easiest thing is if you don't want to worry about a flat, pick up a PTR. You can find PTR receivers that have been welded. Everything's done, bent, welded. Just transfer it like you would in an AR-15 receiver, and
Mhm.
then throw your shit on it. All the hard work is done. So the PTRs would be the first one I would go for. If you want to go harder than that, pick up an LSC, pick up one of the brand names. Like I guess HK makes flats. I didn't realize that. Well, unless you're talking about G3s, G3s are a little bit different than setmes. They will work interchangeably, but the G3 flat has different stampings on it that would not have been appropriate for a older setme. It
Interesting.
doesn't matter; they'll still work. They're interchangeable.
Yeah, man,
Um,
that's a whole different type of building. compared
It
to
is. It
like
is. It is. You need to know how to weld. So that's the first thing, is get the correct parts. If you don't know how to TIG weld, do not learn to TIG weld on your flat. It will it will fail. It will be a bad time. Go to Home Depot. You can pick up like 12 gauge sheet steel. Butt those two pieces together and learn to run a seam across it, and so you're not too hot and melt through, and not too cold.
mm,
And then glue a bunch of metal together. Learn to do that. Beyond that, it's just bend it, weld it. As long as it drop tests, put it all together, and you're fine. I'm so the reason I get so angry talking about the set me is because the first one I built, I had to throw away an entire flat.
oh,
I screwed the first flat up so bad,
that sucks.
welding and all this other shit. And it was $70. It's not a huge loss. It was learning is the other thing. You learn. I
Yeah.
threw it. I got so frustrated with that son of a bitch. I ground the welds off, pulled the barrel and trunnion out, and threw it straight in the garbage. And I was like, I'm gonna buy another
Dang.
flat. Bought
Of
another
course.
flat, bent it, welded it. It looked pretty good. I couldn't get the bolt to drop free. So when you're building a roller gun, you take the flat, or you take your receiver, you take the bolt and you let it go, and it has to drop through the entire receiver free. Wouldn't work. So I sat on that receiver for 3 years trying to find a straightening mandrel where it presses the rails, and because if you're torqued, here's the camera. If you're torqued just the tiniest bit, those rails are crooked and the bolt won't go through.
Yeah.
So I waited 3 or 4 years waiting for somebody to finally come up with a straightening mandrel, or somebody to sell one on Gunbrook or something. And finally, the guy posted on somewhere. I don't even know how I found it. He posted, and I was like, put me down for one. I commented on his post in like three. I commented on it on Reddit. I commented on it on AK files, like all over. And I was like, do not, I want one.
Oh man,
I'm
AK
getting one.
files. I miss AK files. I used to be on there all the time when I was way more in AK shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I still love AKs. And um maybe, just maybe, sometime tonight we can get into a discussion of like what the world would look like if one day Babyface P decided to make his own like run of AKs or something like that.
There will be Sarko right there. Walter says Sarko has PTR finished receivers. If you are the guy that just wants a roller gun, just go do that. Because then all you have to do is weld the front trunnion in and weld a couple little pieces. You don't even need to weld the back end. You just weld the front barrel trunnion in and you're done. And it's the PTR stuff is fantastic. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I have my thoughts. The paperwork is getting finalized. I actually today kicked myself in the ass, printed all the paperwork that I needed, got it all filled out.
Nice.
It's in a little packet. I even have I already have the business name. I already have everything. I bought my business stuff. I have the website. I don't have a website. I have an email address and the domain. So the paperwork will be going off. I just got to go get. For anybody that doesn't have an FFL, you have to go get a set of fingerprints for anybody that's listed on the paperwork. So myself and my wife are both. Funny enough, I put her as CEO and I'm COO of the company. So she makes all the business decisions and she doesn't even realize it.
Nice.
So we got to go get fingerprints and photographs and then mail it off to the ATF and wait. But
Hell
I'm already planning. I have 3 Romanian G kits that are sitting collecting rusty dust in the garage. Those are going to be the first 3 guns I ever build professionally. They'll have some sort of little BFP logo laser engraved on it.
Nice.
And they'll be dongers. They'll be run-of-the-mill dongers with nice refinished wood. They'll be
Dude,
cool. They'll be pretty neat.
I would love to send a flat to you.
Yeah, I can. I'm going to do builds.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah,
plan of getting the one reason for getting my FFL is, one, a lot of people want you to build their stuff, and I'm totally cool with it. You send me a parts kit and a flat, I'll build you. It's not a big deal. It's fun. I enjoy it.
yeah.
The other thing is a lot of the gunsmithing work that I do, working on the biggest one. I have a video on a Mini 14 threading the end of the old like 80 series Mini 14s didn't come threaded. So mine, I was like, I had a Mini 30, which is 7.6239, but I was like, well, shit, I want it threaded so I can put a suppressor on it. So I did a video taking it off the receiver, chucking it in the lathe, threading it. And people were like, hey, I want you to do mine. And I'm like, Well, if you can get it off the receiver and
Yeah.
just send me the barrel, I can do that. But nobody has the wrenches to do that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, it's not as simple as, like, any plus
Mm.
there's not a lot of meat on those barrels. Those
No, no,
they
you
were
got to be careful with them.
anemic.
You
Yeah,
got to be real
yeah,
careful with them. Same with the 1022s. But luckily,
yeah,
all the 1022 work I've done, those come off real easy. So I'm like, just send me the barrel. Don't send me a receiver. I cannot take in a receiver.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, so there's a lot of old gunsmiths are dying, and this is for anybody out there listening. Old gunsmiths are dying. Their
Mhm.
knowledge is not getting passed on, and that line of work will forever be in demand.
Yeah,
Yeah, everybody can build an AR-15 in the garage, but it's not the same as like real gunsmithing.
yeah,
There's
very
always going to
different.
be a need for somebody who can thread barrels, even simple stuff, thread barrels, run screws, add
Even drilling and tapping, like,
drilling
that's
and tapping. People don't you don't realize how important doing it properly is. Having your top dead center lined up where your scope mount isn't off to the side.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that's the main reason why I want my FFL is to do mostly. It's mostly going to be gunsmithing, and then the second bit's going to be building. I'm going to be building less than 49 AKs a year, guaranteed. I will never build more than 49 a year. For tax reasons. For anybody that's not aware, after you hit your 50th firearm for a company, you have to pay taxes on it. So
Oh, that's no one
49,
likes that.
you are in a smaller tier bracket where you don't pay a huge amount of tax. It's just regular sales tax, I believe. 50 and above, you have to pay. Now that you hit 50, you must pay 22%. I think it's 22% tax on all 49 previously, plus anything after 50.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I will never do more than 49 a year of
Maybe
any
that's
particular gun.
why, some people like, some of the best AK manufacturers out there do so many small limited runs. It's like, Jesus
Yep,
Christ, like,
yep.
Krebs will do it. That's probably why they're
They hit
doing.
you, and if it were like a 5% tax on it, it's like, oh, I can handle that. But it's
Yeah,
something like 22%, and not you don't pay it on the 50th and above. You then pay it on everything that you've already
all of them.
sold
That's
and
bullshit.
going forward. So yeah, I'll never do more than 49 a year.
Dark is prohibited from bidding on military contracts, so this is actually true. It's a long story. I was, yeah, and drilling front sight gas blocks,
I
yeah.
can do that. If anybody needs that done, email me, patrick@babyfaceP.com. I'm just throwing that out there.
Nice. So yeah, I apparently me and Crump were messing around and he ran my information, did a background check on me, and he was like, "Well, what's this? I see you're on a government watch list." And I was like, he's like, "No, I'm
It,
serious."
if Crump is watching, can you run me through that? I want to know if
So
I'm
I
on some watch list.
I now have access to the same system he uses.
Okay.
So if you want afterwards,
Yeah, I want to
we can
hear
do
if I
that.
have
Dude,
if I'm on a
it's
watch list.
I thought he was joking, and I was like, "Stop playing, man." I've never been associated with anything like government related, so I
Yeah.
was like, "There's no way I'm on that." Because apparently, I looked into it, and what it is, it's basically like the company that runs like HR for the government and
Mhm.
government related stuff, and they put me on a watch list to where I'm not allowed to bid on government contracts. And I
I
looked.
have a feeling that's illegal. If you wanted to go to court, I don't think you want
It
to,
it was
but
probably done erroneously. It was probably done in error. So I
the government don't make those. The ATF don't make those type of errors. Somebody put you on that list.
if it was like directly like DOJ, ATF, or so, I would be like, oh, this is total fuckery going on here. But looking at so Crump was like, pull up this acronym, and I pulled it up, and he was like, look at it. And I looked at it, and it's basically a company that does human resources. So what I think is that somebody that in the past was doing government contract stuff had similar stuff, or they typed the wrong number in the social in or something like that.
Okay.
I think and I agree, right? Like it's not like a terror watch list or like a no
Yeah.
fly list or anything like
Yeah.
that. So it's like whatever. But
Excise
then
tax 11 or 12%. Walter says still too much. I don't want to pay that.
yeah,
Sorry.
still too much. Anything above 0%. Um,
Is theft.
so before we get into this whole China thing, which I'll bring to you guys here in a second, we'll watch a quick little video and go over an article. Um, I went on. You guys know I have two accounts. I have the DLD After Dark YouTube which is a channel, and then I have another one which is just DarkMavis, which is like my personal. It's what I like watch stuff on, and it's what I do, like whatever. Sometimes you'll see me commenting and watching on either account, but for the most part, I operate under DLD After Dark. Well, um, I went and I saw I saw this Black Scout Survival live stream go live, and it said, warning, nuclear war imminent. It's starting now, right? So I was like, oh my God.
People love to be told that they're fucked. People
Yeah,
love it.
right. I was like, I need to watch this right now. So I clicked on it, and it was, I was on DLD After Dark, and it was like he was selling supplements and
Selling
turkesterone
immediately, I
and
would have said no. If you're shilling for supplement companies or dry food, you can fuck off. I don't need your opinion.
yeah, like I'm and I get it, right? Like a lot of times, like we have conversations here, and I'm like, oh yeah, guys, like Tack Knives, they're a friend of the company, or a friend of the channel, and they're a great company, and this. But this is kind of different, right? So like you're claiming that the end of the world is literally starting now.
And you should buy my thing with my discount that I get a kickback for.
Yeah, like
Yeah. It's
don't
not just, hey, I think these are cool. You should buy one too because they're cool and here's a discount. It's
yeah,
you need to have this. The world is ending. Also, I sell these.
yeah,
It's like a snake sales, a snake oil salesman. That's the way it feels.
exactly. Yep. And if it wasn't like, okay, so let's say that he did the stream and that he addressed all the topics that he was discussing, and then at the end he was like, "Hey, thanks so much guys for hanging out. By the way, sponsor of this is this." And you even at the end, like that would have been better. But in the beginning, to talk about the shit that you're selling when you're saying that there's nuclear war imminent, I'm like, "What? What is
That's
this?" So
you
all
know
these
that
people
man,
were
whoever this is. I know who you're talking about. I don't know him
mhm,
personally, but I know that you said the name. Do you know how much money he probably makes off of that? I'm not
a
kidding.
lot,
Like
a lot.
that man is probably rolling in the dough off of. I just wonder how people like lay their heads down at night knowing that. I guess they're not technically scamming people, but sometimes it just to me feels scummy doing things like that. Like I feel
I
dirty.
agree. I
I feel
agree.
dirty.
And I would never I miss Flying Rich. Thank you for the
I know.
super chat. I miss the end of the world. Can I get some advance notice next time? Yes, absolutely. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. So here's what happened. So I started noticing things in chat, all right, as I'm watching it. And look, honestly, a lot of times I'll go watch Black Scout Survival for information, right? Like I don't have anything against the guy, but sometimes some of my viewers get a little extra and they go in there and they kind of troll him and they're
Because
like,
that's the best.
yeah, because it's hilarious, right?
Mhm.
But either you guys did this or I did something, because I started noticing people were typing in chat, right? And they were like, dude, why are you saying nuclear war is imminent, but you're selling testosterone or turkesterone or whatever? It's like for like raising T levels in men and shit like that, right?
Are you kidding me?
No, swear to God, swear to God.
What the fuck are you?
And,
That's what he was. That's the sub. So he's like on Alex Jones level.
I believe Alex Jones more
See,
than I
actually, I do
believe.
too. I think a lot of Alex Jones stuff that he has is like his first big video was of the what's that place that they all go to, Bohemian Grove, and that was pretty interesting. So
The dollar's collapsing. Send me your money.
yes, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, but here's the deal. So I saw somebody say, "Hey, I've been taking turkesterone and all of your supplements for 6 months, and I'm struggling to see any results. Do you have any advice?" And the chat was moving fast. There's like 1,600 people in there, and I scroll back up, and I was like, "What?" And poof, it was gone. I was like, "Well, that's interesting. Hold on." And then somebody else said something like, "Oh, like you're saying the world is ending, but you're selling supplements. Like, what's going on?" Gone. So anyone that was coming in saying anything to the contrary, they were
Mhm.
getting nuked.
Yep.
So I was like, hold on, because I said a couple of things, right? And I didn't say anything like, I'm just watching because I'm like, okay, maybe this dude is doing a commercial during a live stream and I'm waiting for good information. Okay. Maybe. And then and this isn't to shit on Black Scout Survival. I'm just telling a story, guys. Bear with me. And and I type something in chat, and then I log into my other account and go look, and I don't see it. And I'm like, "Oh my hold on. This motherfucker
So
blocked
he
me?"
he put you on whatever is hidden from channel, where
He
you
hid
can
me from the
comment, but
channel.
you don't know that it's not being seen. Yeah.
Correct. I could do anything. I could,
Mhm.
watch, I could comment, I could comment in
Doesn't be
live
it's not
chat,
seen by
and
anybody.
no one has seen anything. And I was wondering because I've seen my viewers in there. No, he's not a Leviathan dude. Um, I would see my viewers in there, and I would be like,
Leviathan, dude.
"Hey, what's
I gotta
up,
watch what I
bro?"
say there because I know one of the Leviathan guys that works for them, and I like him on a personal level.
Yeah.
So I
So
gotta
I
watch what I say.
I met a Leviathan dude, and I mean, it's such a small world because it was completely unrelated to like anything. And he's like,
Mhm.
you wouldn't know. And I was like, try me, But anyway, so I realized that I was banned from Black Scout Survival's channel. Now it just may be that early on, there was another YouTuber that wanted to get started. So he reached out to some people. He reached out to me, CRS Firearms, and a few other YouTubers of people that he watched and admired, and was like, "Hey, I want to start a channel. What advice do you have? What kind of things should I do? What do you recommend, or whatever?" And one of the people he reached out to was Black Scout Survival. And when he did, he said, "Hey, I've been subscribing to your channel for X amount of years. I watch your stuff all the time. And I was curious. I'm starting a channel. What kind of advice did you have?" His response said, not hello, not thank you for your email, not nothing. I saw the screenshot. It was like, um, "I'll give you a 15-minute consultation for $375."
These people,
That
these
was his response.
people, these people. It disgusts me when the crud of the crop rises to the top like that.
Yeah, yeah, and look, he's been
The
putting in
best
work.
food buckets in town.
He's been putting in work on his channel for years. Look, I'm not trying to just shit on the guy. I'm just trying to say it may be because I've talked about that before, and a bunch of my viewers went in there like, "DLD, sent me
There,
DLD, sent me DLD," that
you
he was
don't.
just like, "Fuck this guy."
The real answer is none of us have the full answer.
Mhm.
But the best advice you can get on things like that is there are things you can do in your daily. Buy every time you go to Walmart, buy a big thing of water and put it away in your garage.
Yeah, yeah,
Buy 5 or 6 cans of food, put them in your pantry. You don't even have to do a lot. If you're shopping once or twice a week at your
little
work
bits.
grocery store,
Mhm.
buy 5 cans of something and put them in your pantry as rainy day food, not something that you eat. Replenish what you're eating all the time, but make a little stock in the back of canned goods, dried goods, beans last freaking ages, and they're not you're not going to be happy eating nothing but beans for a month, but you'll won't die.
Yeah, yeah.
He
I
gets
answer Black
100.
Scout survival chats. I keep 275. He gets the 100.
I
Well,
just
so
I don't the audacity of some of these people to
it's
and
nuts.
and on the funny enough on the flip side we have a mutual acquaintance. I wouldn't call him a friend quite yet, but a mutual acquaintance who runs YouTube onboarding streams for people, and he does it out of for totally free. And I actually learned a lot from his marine
Yeah.
gun builder.
Marine gun builder. Yeah.
He does it for free, and it's
Yeah.
like, surprisingly, I went in there with a shit attitude, thinking like, I'm not going to learn anything here. There's actually a bunch of good stuff I took away from that. And that dude
Oh yeah.
did a 5 week course for like 2 hours on a Tuesday, every
Yeah.
Tuesday for free.
Dude, I went through the same thing, and I mean,
Yeah.
he teaches so much. It's great content. It's great point. Even if you just take like 4 or 5 tips from it and implement it, it's like,
But he didn't even
excellent
he
stuff.
asked nothing in return, which is I was
Yeah.
highly impressed. Anytime I meet people that are YouTubers, I
Mhm.
always try to feel them out first because I feel like everybody on here has got some angle and they're trying to use you for something. And
Yeah,
I'm not famous enough to be totally used, but
yeah, I mean,
after a while, I was like, God damn, this man just does this because he either enjoys it or I don't. He gets a kick out of helping people. Like he actually liked it.
so him and I have talked about things, and he's just one of those guys that he likes to give back. And I think it's good because a lot of people in our community are just like that. And I would say,
Take, 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 take.
oh yeah, they're the opposite, right? But you know, I would personally, I would say like me, you, Crump, Rich, like 2AEDU, like a lot of the guys that are like in our Marine Gun Builder and a lot of guys in that chat, we're all kind of like, yeah, like we'll do whatever to help other people, you know, as long as it's not like
My
going.
This might be bad. My video, I have a series that he put up for sale.
Hmm.
I haven't asked for the money out of that, and I really don't care. I make all that sort of content not necessarily for money, but so other people can go and build.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, there's probably a little bit of a payday waiting for me because of that. He put that whole video up on Freedom Crew University, but I was like,
Hmm.
I've not needed we're not desperate for money, and maybe
Yeah.
I'll get a little check one day, but it's like I don't really care. It's just
Yeah.
if he used it to help grow the thing, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Like I don't need it that bad.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, if people come through and download it and stuff, you know,
Yeah, I
he'll definitely distribute.
Oh no, no,
Um,
I know that there's. He told me I've had like 10 or 11 downloads already, and
oh,
so
nice.
I'm sure there's money waiting. But it's like I don't do any of this for money per se.
Yeah,
I don't. I do it because I enjoy it.
that was my biggest mistake doing this for 2.5 years, not for money. I'm just kidding.
I
I'm joking. I've always looked at this as doing this as an activity for fun, and I love engaging. I love
the
the
people you
people.
meet
I was
can
literally
either
saying to
be
people,
salt of the earthers, like we have on here tonight, or total d bags.
yeah,
Total
you
d
you
bags.
can usually figure out pretty quickly
Pretty
too.
fast, yeah.
You know, and honestly, the people that I've met doing this and the connections and even like just going to events like this weekend, I'm going to a training event in Maryland at MD Arsenal with
Cool.
the tactical turkeys, and I mean I'm paying for it, right?
Yeah, no,
But
but
like
that's great.
it's awesome. I get to do intermediate rifle. We may go to the shoot house,
Oh,
intermediate
I've done shoot
pistol.
house once. It is fun. Oh,
So
it's
the
fun.
only time I did I did a shoot house once with live ammo. The other time I did it was with cert
That's what
ammo,
I did. I didn't do live ammo. I did cert, but
bro.
it made me. It startled something in me that I was like, I could do this. Like, I did the
Yeah,
shoot house, and I got so goddamn serious about the whole thing. I was like, fuck me. Like,
you got to take it
I could
seriously
kick a
though.
fucking door, and this is fun.
Yeah. Once you so here's what I noticed that there were other people there that were not really
Oh,
psychologically in the mindset.
I was in it. This is fight or flight,
Yeah.
death or destruction. If you, I'm killing you first, sort of
Yep.
thing. Like
Well,
I was in it.
the body will never go to where the mind has not,
Mhm.
and you know a lot of times the mind won't go to where the body hasn't. So like if doing those training and those reps is so important for you, it's so important for you to take it that seriously because that one
I-
day that you may need to do something that you've only visited once, it's like
you
you
know, the
got to
funny
take
thing
that shit seriously.
is I pretty sure that if I ever had to defend myself, I would do it in a heartbeat. There was a video. Did you see? We're going to go off on a bit of a tangent. Before I get there, I could do it. I'm just a total softie. I've had to put down some animals in our backyard. We had a raccoon who tried to bite the eyeballs out of my dog, and
Mm.
that raccoon ain't kicking anymore because of
A-
that.
Animals are hard.
I felt so shit for like a month, but I was like, I had to do this. It almost cost me, $2,000 in vet bills, and it tried to blind my dog.
I would
Like,
say that animals are more difficult than people, but then people would think that I've murdered somebody before.
no, see, that's the thing is, I think I'm on the same thing. The animal reacted. So this raccoon had been treeing. My dog would go out at night to pee. It would
Mhm.
run up a tree. The raccoon would go up a tree and stare at us from up top the tree for like
Yeah,
3 months. And I was like, everything's good.
yeah,
You do you. It would dig through our recycling on the side of the house, and I would have to put the pizza box in every couple nights. Like
yeah,
if we had, and I didn't even care. I was like, not a big deal. I'll throw the pizza box in. It's not eat some garbage. I don't really give a shit. It's one raccoon.
mhm.
Until one night I was out of town. Marley was here by herself. This has been like 3 or 4 years ago. She was here by herself. I get a panicked call saying the raccoon tried to kill the dog. I was like, oh, excuse me, what? She's
That's
like, I
crazy.
let the dog out back. The raccoon decided not to go up a tree, bit him. I mean, because they're smart.
Yeah,
They know to go for eyes. It bit him right on the side of his nose, right next to an eye, and then bit him on the ass. And I knew it
That
wasn't rabid. It was doing what raccoons do.
Yep.
Like
Defending its yeah.
I was like, I'm sorry, you've lived. Had you kept going up that tree, you would have been fine. But I
Yeah.
felt bad for like a month after doing that. Oof.
I had an incident with first off, I had like a family of raccoons that were tormenting me and my family for months.
Fuck that.
Like it was so bad. I
Hmm.
would wake up and go out and it wouldn't just be like, oh, the pizza box is out of recycling or whatever.
Yeah.
Trash was all over the entire yard.
Nope.
They ate all my edible plants. This is why I had lettuce dead, cucumbers dead, my berry. I grew blueberries, and raspberries and blackberries off of
Oh,
cuttings, right?
so good.
Dead. All my
It's so
tomatoes, I
fucking
had a
bad.
6-foot tall tomato plant, indeterminate tomatoes that would just keep, just, though they would have been growing forever.
Hmm.
They literally scaled it and tipped it over and
They're
then
smart
started
little
like eating
fuckers.
all. They
They're
are, they
smart
are.
little fuckers.
Well, one day I went out. This was on a over 100-degree day, right?
Hmm.
And I walk outside, and I used to keep like next to my trash can, I had a shovel because like if I ever had to kill something, I would bury it and give it back to the earth from whence it came. And I
Hmm.
was working on my soil, so
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
plus I would dig holes and throw. If you take banana slices and throw banana slices in the soil, shout
Hmm.
out to Senor Bob out there. I see
Yeah,
you,
I just
bro.
said it's good to see you.
Yeah, yeah, dude. So he literally put me on to if you especially if you have like clay like soil. I know you guys kind of have sandy soil where you are, but bananas and banana peels, and when you slice them up and cut them up, plant them shallowly throughout. They'll actually bring worms, and it'll bring the worms the feces, and
Hmm.
it'll kind of like
Yeah, it
it'll
helps grow the soil.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I had a moose antler next to my trash can. I had like a pickaxe. I had a couple shovels, my daughter's little metal shovel. But it was a stout little metal shovel, right? It was like a full grown adult shovel, but whoop, like
I'm
smaller,
guessing a
right?
raccoon got one upside the head.
So a dead raccoon got one upside the head because I didn't know he was dead. So I opened up my trash can and I screamed like a woman, and I see this big ass dog-sized raccoon
Yeah.
in my trash can,
Dong.
and I'm like, "Oh my god," and my daughter's there, she's like, "Whoa, cool, let me see," right?
No.
And I was like, "No, back up, get away, get
Yeah.
inside." Of course she didn't. She stepped back like 10 feet and then just watched. So I tipped over the trash can, and as the stuff came out, it, like, rolled around like this. It was like, "Ah," like that, but
Dong.
yeah, it was just a non it just did that from
Yeah.
gravity.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
just like, "Ah," and I was like, "Oh, shit," and I took the shovel and bong! I felt the skull smash open
Yeah.
from like, I could
It's
feel it
it's
in my
funny.
hand.
It's funny that all of us, you talk a big talk, you're like, I'm a big tough guy. I could kill a person if I had to, if they were, but you something like that, it gets at your
It's different,
soul, and I don't know what it
different.
is.
Imagine like a cute little animal that if you knew it wasn't gonna kill you, you'd pet it. Raccoons,
Yeah,
I would
raccoons
have a
are adorable.
absolutely, right?
Yeah.
They used to 3 of them would get up in the tree and just taunt me, right? And then they would come down when I'm far enough away, then I'd be like,
Mhm.
"Arr!" Then they'd go back up this tree, and it would
If
just
a
be
game like that
constant.
is fun when
Yeah,
they're fucking with you.
yeah.
Well, again, if he would have bit the dog's eyeball out, could you one, the medical bills would have been huge. Two,
Oh,
I have
yeah.
a half blind dog because of a fucking raccoon. It's
Yeah,
like I
and
can't have that.
they're
Sorry.
like a fish. Their eye is on the other side of their head, they they
Can't
need both of
can't
them.
have that. So
Yeah.
we
So
did you there was a go ahead, I'm sorry.
well, I was just gonna say, so that's kinda why I think in, like, BV Luminous says, the innocence of an animal, right?
Mhm.
They're just living and surviving, right? So, like, an animal, a raccoon, and I've shot a lot of different animals for different reasons. It sucks, right? But, like, a dude in a Prius, it's like, "Hey, buddy, I was driving here, man. Don't you dare," and pulls a knife or something, like, "Fuck
People
you."
people decide their own fate sometimes.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go kicking in my door at night, you have chosen that path in life. The
Yep.
raccoon's just out there looking for my garbage, you know.
Yeah, 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 and that's
Um,
the difference between deserving to die and forfeiting the right to live. If
yes, yeah, yeah.
someone engages in activities, especially felonious activities that are threatening people with death, you in that moment during that act, at least during that act, you forfeited your right to live. And if somebody defends themselves, that's it. It's a wrap.
I don't. Yeah, we have you? There was a TikTok going around 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I showed it to Marley to get her opinion on it. It was all women, so it was all asking women if you're and women with young kids,
Mhm.
if your family was in danger. Basically, the question was, could you kill somebody for your kids?
Yeah.
Somebody was coming after your kids, something like that. You will not. Well, maybe you would believe how many women on there are like,
Nope.
oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't
I
know if I
couldn't do
could.
it. Yep.
I was, and I showed it to Marley, and she was like, "Yeah, I no problem." And I looked at her, and I was like, "You don't even. It wouldn't even take that much. If somebody was going after my kid,
Done. In
done.
a
There's no
heartbeat without a second
question,
thought.
no
And
question."
think about it too. These people, remember what we said that the body won't go to a place that the mind hasn't been to, right? So these people never sat down and thought, what if I have
How
to defend myself, right?
I have the cutest little 7-month-old. How could you not want to defend that? That's
It's
your
not,
only purpose in life right now. My only purpose in life right now is to make sure that he grows up and gets
yeah.
to go on to his own life. That is my entire job.
So in my opinion, it's not that they don't want to defend their child. It's that most people aren't psychologically prepared to deal with the repercussions of defending themselves. And if they did have to defend themselves with whatever weapon, the first thing they would do is puke all over their victim and
Probably.
themselves. And they'd be, you know what I mean? Like they
You know,
can't.
I can't say that I wouldn't do the same in if I had to defend myself. You know, you get the shakes, you get that adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
no idea what would happen after, but I can tell you if that moment ever came, if somebody ever broke into our house at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Mhm.
you better find your way out real quick before I come downstairs.
Yeah, yeah. You and your wife come down both with nods and in
Yeah,
full
it's
kit,
this. You're
like,
not gonna have a good time in this house. Don't
they
come around
the
here.
bad guy comes in and all of a sudden the lights go out, he's like,
Lights you
"Hmm?"
get
Yeah, like, you got bolt
going
cutters.
dark.
Dude. Well, that's so okay, so my mind was kind of changed on this because I had the same thought process of, like, how could you not want to defend your family or stand up for yourself or the right of self-preservation is something that we visit that place all the time, whether it's at the range or just each day taking on and off our carry gun or whatever it is, right?
I
We
I think
visit
about
that
it. I
place.
put that gun on my hip. I like so we have a Walmart right down the street from us. I
Hmm.
put that gun on my hip. I take the baby with me to go get groceries. We have this routine when Marley goes to the gym or is at work. I
Hmm.
go pick up groceries right before dinner. I cook.
Hmm.
I put that thing on my hip, carrying the baby out the door, and I immediately it's like if shit goes down, it's him and I, and that's
Yeah.
it. I don't give a shit what
Yeah.
goes. It's him and I. They're coming out.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Hey, Eagle Run, good to see you, bro. Yeah, it's nuts, man. So I interviewed this guy one time in a previous professional role, and I had another person join me for the purpose of interviewing. We'll call it for employment. It was something similar. And so me and the guy that were interviewing this guy, he was more so like a disinterested third party that was a friend, and me and him are like same kind of thing. We both carry guns, we both train, we both prep, we both like we're kind of the same, right? And the situation came up of like his house had gotten broken into, the guy I'm interviewing, but they did not like come into contact with the person that broke into their house, right? And my buddy that was there was like, well, what are you going to do? Like, what steps are you going to take to protect your home moving forward? And he had basically said that he was gonna put all of his faith into God. And I was like, "Well, have you ever heard, of faith and action? Like, together, you know?"
God sorts them out after. the action happens. That's the way that
Yes.
works.
Yes. But they don't
That's
get
the
it.
gift that he is, that whatever God you believe in, the gift that we've been granted is free will. And the
Yeah.
problem is some people choose to use their free will to break into other people's houses at 2 o'clock.
With evil, exactly.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
this is
It's
where
not my
it she went crazy because my buddy, I in the role that I was in, I wasn't able to be as like direct and combative, especially with like political stuff. So he was the one that was kind of saying like, "Well, are you going to get like a security system? Are you going to get a
something,
gun?
anything.
Yeah, anything. Like, are you going to dig a moat? Are you going to do like
Yeah,
something,
just
right?"
the bare minimum. Put some burglar bars. What are you gonna do? And you
Yeah.
nothing.
This guy says a gun. I could never imagine owning a firearm, nor could I ever imagine pulling the trigger and
I've
hurting or killing another person.
I could kill somebody in the right situation. It would have to be defense of home, property, self, kids, family, something like that.
100%.
Absolutely, no
100%.
problem. I
Totally
wouldn't
agree.
choose to go out and just murder people, but
Never, never. I could
in the right
only.
situation, you push a dog, you back a dog into a corner, and they're gonna bite you. You
Yeah,
know.
it's gotta be for self-preservation,
Mhm,
preservation of innocent life. Mostly, like, let's say, like, our family, ourselves, like,
mhm,
preservation of life like that. Also, if I saw a situation where I could potentially help and it was like a preservation of life, of innocent life,
mhm,
I would likely jump in, and, if I believe that I could help. I like to think that I'm that type of person.
mhm.
But this guy, when he said that, my buddy
Beefy
was like,
Lupus.
what did he
Beefy
say?
Lupus just said like, "I could kill a man, no cap." if
It's
I don't know
circumstances.
if I should put this much info out about me. We had a pedophile living 3 houses down right when we moved into this neighborhood. Creepy
Oh,
fucking like 70-year-old man. He moved out within like 4 months of us living here, but this is like right. We've been in this house for
he
7 or 8
probably
years.
saw you in the backyard with your nods on.
He
That's
waved at me a couple times, and I looked him up. The neighbors across the street were like, "You got to be careful. That guy's a pedophile." And I was like, "What?" So they gave me his name. I looked him up, and I was like, "Don't you come
dang.
around here. You do not want to be coming around this house." Luckily, he moved out within a couple months. So,
Hey,
but yeah,
let's use correct terminology. He was a map. He was a minor
he
attracted
was
person.
he was lucky to be alive. I think is
Yeah. So, and guys, I'm just kidding, by the way. That whole normalizing minor attracted that shit is disgusting, and I don't even want to. I
get
shouldn't
right. He
even
moved
joke
out.
about it.
We do back up to an old swampy lake here in Central
Oh
Florida
God, oh
with
no.
gators. Oh, we got 5, 6 big old gators back there. Big old monsters.
Yeah, he moved out,
Yeah.
right? We haven't seen him in months.
Oh god.
So sorry to get back to it. So basically, what had happened, and this is when I my mind shifted completely on this topic of, you know, could could most people
No.
commit the act of could kill someone in self-preservation or
No.
whatever. This dude said a gun. I could never picture
Have you
myself pulling the trigger.
ever
this
been
this guy, well, real quick, the guy that I was with had said, hold on, so you're telling me if you guys were in the house and your daughter, because he knew his family, and your daughter was there and the guy was holding a gun to you, your wife, and your daughter,
couldn't
that
imagine
you
himself
wouldn't be? He said, nope, I would not do. Even if I had a gun, I would not do
what
it. Even if I had the ability,
what
I
a
wouldn't do it.
lack of manliness. I can't understand how a person like that can call themselves a man.
It was so
That is your
crazy.
sole job in this
Yeah.
world.
Your
As
only
a
job.
man in this world, your job is to take care of your family, and that's it. You're put here to procreate, make the next generation, and take care of them. That's
Yep.
your in we
Yep.
have extra things that we have brought on because society has grown to at this point. But as the man, your purpose is to take care of them. That's it.
Yep. And that pigs digest human bones. Thank you,
That's
Edities. I
I don't know if
appreciate
you've
it.
seen Snatch, the movie Snatch, a guy
Yeah.
Ritchie movie.
Beware of the
Marley
man with the
had never
pig
seen it.
farm.
I had her watch it a week ago.
Oh,
Uh,
it's an excellent
good,
movie.
great movie. But I just
So
I don't understand humans that are like that. That are
this is when it gets back to the whole faith thing, right? Because people have so much misplaced faith. He had said, so at that point, I was like, okay, so you're telling me that this guy is holding a gun to you, holding you hostage, whatever, and he's going to kill your wife and your daughter, and then you're going to watch them die before you get shot and killed. And you're saying that even if you had a gun, you wouldn't dare be able to do it. And he said, I said, what would you do in that situation? He said, I would just give it to God. And if it happens, then it's supposed to happen. I wanted
No,
to stand up and be like,
no.
you fucking bitch. You are
That is
such
not
a
how.
vagina.
That is not the
That's
purpose
not
of
even
free
how
will.
faith
Is that
works.
no? Exactly. That's insanity.
Mm,
Statistically,
terrible.
in USA wars, 50% of soldiers do 99% of the killing. The other 85% of the soldiers shoot over the enemy's heads and are afraid to take life. That's true. I've heard that that's true. A lot of soldiers are not prepared to kill
I have heard
because it's
something
unnatural.
similar to that.
Killing is a totally unnatural
Oh,
thing. The difference to me between warfare and self protection is warfare, you are there to do a job. You don't have any personal gain. There's nothing, there's no, the stake is not as high for a
mhm.
soldier to kill the enemy soldier unless that person is within, distance to kill you. Say Marines on Guadalcanal, total different story. The
Yeah.
Japs would skin you alive if you let
Yeah.
them.
You're
So
talking
totally different story.
direct immediate
Hmm.
self-preservation, right? Like, and
That
Gabriel, thank you for the super chat, by the way.
that is the difference to me is the immediate self-preservation of this is my domicile, these are my family members, you aren't
Yeah.
doing harm to them, I don't give a shit what you think.
Yeah, and I do want to say too, like I absolutely never want to glorify violence at all. What I just want to shine a light on is so the ability to commit violence in the name of preservation of innocent life is so different than committing violence for violence sake or for personal gain.
I
It's completely different. So
You'll
please don't
hear
confuse what I'm saying,
there's a
guys.
funny argument out there that you'll hear people say, well, in the Bible it says thou shalt not kill, and that's actually a bit of a misnomer. If you go
Yeah.
to the older readings, especially Hebrew, uh, there's a difference between the word kill and the word murder.
Murder. Yeah.
And the Bible more says, "Thou shalt not murder."
Yeah.
There is nothing telling you that you cannot defend yourself. So never
Yeah.
believe you'll hear that one come up, and that is a total BS line that somebody has. They have no
Oh
idea
yeah.
what they're telling you.
Well, it's the easiest thing to fall back on. And Benjamin is saying that that guy had obviously never read the Bible. 100%. It's not.
Old Testament God does not give a fuck about you.
Yeah. Right. Man, I think that people fall back on these things, right? Like, well, I could never kill let's say in all these situations we're talking excuse me, specifically about, preservation of innocent life or self-preservation for you and your family and whatever, right? If people are like, well, I could never do that. I could never kill or I could never because of religion or because of whatever, their excuse is. It's like, well, that's an easy cop out when the reality is like, I don't know if I physically could. I don't know if I could bring myself to do that, but they haven't brought themselves to that place that like we talk about all the time of if I had to use my firearm in self-defense or in the act of preserving innocent life, you know?
It's funny. Every time I get on a plane, even just flying for business and stuff. Hey, night,
Mhm.
Walter.
Nighty night.
Every time I get on a plane, I always tell normally if I fly for business, it's by myself. I don't, family doesn't come with me.
What up, Silverback? Yeah, yeah.
Um, I'll tell Marley, I'm like, listen, if the plane goes down because of terrorists, just know that I did not sit quietly in my seat. It's
Yeah.
just that's just the way it is. I ain't going quiet.
Dude, I
Just know that in your heart that if that
yep.
happens, I'm doing something. I don't know what. I'm doing something.
Your family, the people that are closest to you like that, they get to know you, right?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh
like
yeah.
there had been times before where like we were in public and some incidents happened and my wife looked at me like, "Oh my god, he's going to do something." I'm like, "It's okay. It's okay. It's okay." Like I not yet, not yet.
Yeah, we're
Like
not to that point.
their first thought, and this comes up a lot where a lot of people are like, oh my goodness, I could never carry a gun. I would shoot people in road rage
I
incidents, or
don't
I would
understand.
do
No,
I could
you.
never
Why
trust
would
myself.
you?
Like,
Why
what?
would, that's crazy. Now you're fucking crazy if you say you do things like that.
You know, that's so bizarre, right? Because we're
Yeah.
talking about people on the two opposite sides of the spectrum of, let's call them like non-gun owners, right?
Hmm.
Where some are like, oh, I could never take a human life, right? And then the other people are like, I could never trust myself with a gun. I'd be shooting people
I
left and
don't
right.
trust you either.
Like, what? Yeah, I don't want you to have a gun.
Oh
And,
God,
and
there
I
was.
will say that carrying a gun has brought another level of responsibility to my awareness, because now I don't get in stupid road rage fights, or I don't get in
There's no reason
unnecessary
to.
interactions. Yeah,
There's no
because
reason to do any of that. Go about your day.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it
he cut you
it
off in
could
traffic. Go
yeah,
about
let
your
them
day.
have it. Whatever. Like that's
Go
fine.
about your day.
You know,
It doesn't matter.
honestly,
It doesn't matter.
if I was getting robbed at gunpoint, knowing that like I got a sub 1.9 second draw, I would probably be like, hey yo, like, do can I just buy you dinner or something? Like,
Yeah, they're.
is there something else I can do before I like put three in your sternum right now? I
Yeah.
would not look. I would protect myself, by all means,
There's
but
also, there's also, if you are already drawn upon the odds of you winning the
yeah.
draw there, not very good.
Extremely so I want to talk about that too. Something just came up yesterday about that, actually. It was an older video, but, okay, so, if somebody has drawn their gun and their firearm is trained on you,
So
then
it's the incident's over to me, unfortunately.
it typically is. It's zero point 0.3 seconds for them to be able to pull the trigger as a statistical like average. Okay. Now, the only time you to be able to have a fighting chance, you have to get a sub 2 second draw to first shot from concealment, which one takes thousands of reps. Okay. I'm at like a 1.8 something, and
Mhm,
that's taken years to get to.
mhm.
And if from if somebody like during the incident, if somebody turns all the way to the point where they show you their ear,
That's it. You got a chance.
then you got
Mhm.
about 2 seconds for them to turn around, right? But there's so many other variables in there. That's just like
Yeah,
kind of an
you
average,
yeah.
right? Like, because somebody could be like you
You're
know
at that point, to me, my opinion is, at that point, your self-preservation is, here's my wallet.
Yeah, yeah. Compliance is actually 20%, only 20% of people that comply are injured. And then I forgot the other statistic. It was like only 20% of people that comply are injured. Compliance isn't a foolproof plan, but
No,
it
it's not. They can
usually
still shoot
helps.
your ass, and a lot of times they're just
100%.
crazy and they'll just do it. So yeah.
Yeah, 100%. The
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 the answer to me is, you need to not live in a bubble 24/7. When you're walking
yeah,
around shopping, you need to be paying attention to what's going on around you. And most of the world has no clue what's going on
oh
five
yeah,
feet to the right of them.
100%. They don't open up their
Anytime,
mind
so
enough.
I teach CCW courses for here in Florida, and
Mhm.
anytime people come through, I always tell them, like, just to, point of reference here. You're gonna get your CCW. You're gonna put your gun on for the first time. I expect you to go train, but you put it on
Mhm.
your hip, and you're gonna think that every person in society is staring at you because
Yeah.
you have a gun on your hip and everyone knows it. And it's like, to be perfectly honest, not a single. You could put an AK down your pants.
Yep.
99% of the people will have no idea. Don't
Yep.
even care.
They're not looking at you. They're not
They don't,
looking
you
at
don't
your
exist
phone.
in their world.
Mm.
That's why people get mugged all the time, because they're either on their phone or
Yep.
they're just oblivious to the world around
Not
them.
paying attention. There I mean, dude, we talked about an incident that happened. I want to bring another incident up. We talked about an incident where a guy carjacked with a firearm an undercover police officer, and he ended up dying. He was shot
The
3
cop?
times. No,
Oh, the other
the bad guy.
carjacker. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it was a great story. If we didn't just talk about it on Tuesday, I would go back over it. I mean, the dude was on his shit. He drew from a Safari Land holster on his thigh in the driver's seat of a car in under 1 second.
Holy
And
cow.
the dude opened up the car door with a
And
gun like that, and he drew his first shot hit the door and window, and then the other 3 shots were all center mass, and he was out. He
Jesus.
literally it happened so fast that the guy fell. So he was pointing a gun at the guy like
Is
this.
there a video or anything of this?
Yes, there is.
I'm gonna have to go find that.
I'll share it with you.
Okay.
It's good from an educational standpoint. It's
Mhm.
it's good because it teaches you so much. It
You
it
can't
happens
even
so
like that,
fast.
sitting in your car, you cannot just be oblivious with the radio going. You need to be
Oh
watching
yeah.
what's going on around you.
Well, what do most people do in their car too? They're like they're
Oh,
on
yeah.
their phones. Like
Yeah.
you got to get away from that. And even if you are on your phone, you got to constantly look up. That's why I put my phone up. It's up
I
on
have
my
a magnetic
dash.
mount on the dash.
Yep. And then I'm always kind of clearing and looking,
I've gotten,
everywhere.
voice recognition has gotten so good in the last couple
Hmm.
years that if I'm in the car, I don't even use my
You don't
phones
need to
anymore. I
touch it.
just
Yeah.
hit and I say what I'm going to say and then I send it.
Yep. So the other thing is like it happened so lightning fast that even though the dude with his left hand opened the car door and with his right hand was pointing a gun at the cop drew. It was definitely a sub 1 second draw.
And then da da da
He
da.
put 4 rounds. One hit the right where the door and the glass meet, and it went through, which is that indicates a high level of skill. So he does training outside of his qualifications because that means that he started firing the moment he saw the gun and before the door was all the way open,
Oh,
because the
here it is. I see
remaining
it.
3 shots,
This is in Dallas.
I believe so. We can't show it on
Dallas.
the show because
No,
I'll
but
get
I'm about to go watch
copyright.
it.
Yeah, dude, it's the dude literally has a gun like this, and then when he gets shot, he falls like this, like with both of his hands up. It was nuts. Um, but
Being fucked around.
there's another situation that breaks all statistical probabilities. Like I've never seen anything like. Well, it's rare that I see anything like this. So if I don't know, do you want to watch that real quick and come back, or do you want to?
Watching this. Boom, 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 the guy's down. I've
Oh, you just saw it.
I actually saw this one on when it happened on police activity, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah. The baby
this.
mama.
Oh my god! They're
You
like, oh, he wasn't going
know,
to carjack him. He was just looking. It's like, why does he have a mask on and he's going up to this guy's car? The dude died.
yeah, he did die.
The
They
Canadian died.
also took like 12 minutes to render
They took
aid.
fucking forever to get it in.
Yeah, like I get it. Like, look, I'm not saying. I also would like to think that I'm the kind of guy that if I ever needed to use my handgun in self defense, I would I may try to render aid on the
I'm
asshole.
50-50. I'm afraid of bloodborne illnesses personally, and there
Yeah.
are a lot of people that got a lot of.
Hmm.
You hear all the time. There wasn't 6 months ago that there was a hepatitis outbreak at a 7-Eleven in St. Pete
Yeah.
because somebody was taking a crap and not washing their hands. Bloodborne illnesses are a serious thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's not my job to render aid. So it
Dude.
depends. It really depends. But my brain immediately goes to my family needs to get somewhere else. You don't need to be here for this. That is my primary, and you aren't getting up off that ground until the ambulance is here because it's not
On
my job.
the
I'm not CPR certified, even though I used to be. I'm not a paramedic. I'm not EMS. They will
Yeah.
be here to help. Somebody got a
Silverback
tourniquet. Maybe I'll
says,
put it on you, but
I sent it to you again, DLD. He got out of the car, then he drew his weapon and shot. Hold on, which one? The video that
the
I
one in
saw.
Dallas that I was referring to first, he got out of the car. The guy got in the car, but the one you're referring to was on police activity from like a month ago, and the guy pulls the door handle open as the cop's drawing into his
Yeah,
chest.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah. Now, this one that I saw yesterday, I think it was from months ago, but the one I saw yesterday literally broke every single statistical probability in gunfighting that I have ever seen. Okay. So, just like I had said, if you draw from the drop, unless you can draw and put your first shot on target in less than 0.3 seconds, which is almost physically impossible, right?
mhm.
You're not going to be able to draw from the drop unless you find yourself in an opportunity where they're distracted or whatever, right? If you can throw a 9 bang over there while they're not looking, and whatever. I'm joking, don't carry flashbangs, but like the likelihood of you surviving drawing from the drop, it has happened, but it is highly unlikely, okay? Because your 2-second, 1.5 to 3-second draw, whatever, is so unlikely to beat a 0.3-second statistic, right? But here's what happened. If I were to tell you, okay, so Babyface P, there was an instance where a guy got pulled over, and then he drew a gun on 2 cops that already had their weapons out. How do you think that
And
story would
he
end?
won that fight? Are you
Well,
kidding me?
well, hold on. So if I said a guy drew a gun on 2 cops that
The
both already
cop
had their
should have
weapons
lit
out,
him up the second he went for his pockets.
he would have been done, right?
Should have been done.
In any other situation, if you saw a YouTube video get uploaded and it said, breaking news, man pulls gun on 2 cops that have their guns drawn, you'd be like, oh, he's dead,
He's dead.
right? Like,
Did he
no question.
survive the
The dude pulled an AR out of his truck while in the progress of a felony stop where both cops had their guns on him. The dude came out with an AR-15 and he smoked the first police officer, unfortunately, shot her in the
what?
head. She was gone immediately.
They
Okay.
didn't
She didn't, I don't think she got a shot off. I literally think he came out and was like dome shot, right?
I
She
gotta watch
didn't
this one.
sound like she got
I
a shot
probably
off.
have seen it already.
Yeah, I'll shoot it to you as well. Um, then the other cop fired a few rounds. Here's the messed up thing though. The guy was behind cover. Okay,
I see
the
it. Oh,
cop
no, that's a different one. Sorry.
the cop was behind cover. He broke cover to get to better cover. That was just one car. So he was behind the rear of a vehicle. Okay. So bad guy car here, cop car here. He was behind the first cop car. And the guy was shooting with an AR-15, killed the first cop. She died right away, unfortunately. Didn't even get a shot off. And he starts going after the cop, which is behind the car. He breaks cover to go hide behind the second car, and he's firing like one-handed like this, gets behind the second car and starts switching the gun between his right hand and left hand. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
That
And then he
sounds like bad training.
very bad
You're on
training.
a felony stop. Why are you digging through your car? Why are you getting out and doing anything? You're not allowed to do that. Sorry.
The only thing he
Pro-
should have done is gotten them
Problem
to,
is the Derek Chauvin trial put fear into every single cop that if you do one thing wrong, you're going to spend your life in prison.
for sure. Yeah, for sure. 100%. And then the dude induces a malfunction and is out in the open. And the guy, so he did hit the bad guy once, but because he was switching his gun back between his right hand and left hand and shooting over the vehicle, he
He stovepiped it or something.
he induced a malfunction. It looked like it was probably a double feed, but it was some type of malfunction. He didn't even tap rack bang. He literally put the gun in his left hand like this, holding it from the top, like he was going to try to clear it. But at that point, he was in the open against a dude with an AR-15, and he died. The guy killed both of the cops.
What? They both bit it?
They both died. I was like, so
Donut operator did a video on it. I'm gonna have to see if I can go find it.
yeah, I didn't see Donut's video on it. So basically what they had said is that this guy had recently been in a divorce, and that he
Had
was going
nothing to
through
live for, so
court.
he just fuck it.
Well, not only that, he got his kids taken from him. He ended up losing his
Oh yeah,
job.
you back a dog into a corner, he's gonna bite.
Yeah, I mean, what do they got?
I've thought of that before. It doesn't surprise me when people react that way when you take everything from them. It doesn't
So
surprise me.
in the video, they bring that up. They said, well, apparently he was going through divorce. He, lost his wife, then he lost his house, then he lost his job, then he lost his kids, and apparently has become anti-government and anti-police. I'm like, yeah,
Wonder why.
yeah, the government took everything from him. I mean, in his mind, right? The
Mhm.
government took everything from him. Now, anyone out there that's dealing with challenges and struggles,
You
and
need to go get help. Don't do that.
yeah, go get help, right? But also, you can always rebuild, right? Even if your home, your situation is torn down to the foundation, you still
You
have a
can
foundation of
always
which you can build on.
just bulldozers. They're not that expensive. Just learn to weld. You just learn
Yeah,
to weld.
AR-500, steel,
Steel plating.
yeah,
It's good you gotta do.
Just kidding. Just kidding. No, you could bulldoze your, old home, metaphorically speaking, and rebuild from the
And
foundation up.
rebuild your neighborhood after you tear all of it down.
Oh God, this is bad. No,
You
yeah,
have to see me that
you
video. I
guys
can't
do.
find it immediately, and I want to watch because I just can't believe you.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
terrible training. And I
yeah.
can't, you feel bad because you're uh, money back, armchair quarterbacking two cops getting killed. But at the same time, if there's
I
something you can learn,
know.
there's something you can
It's
learn.
terrible. It's honestly what it was is, like you said, it was definitely training related, but also it was panic, right? Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. You cannot lose your head. Oh, that's what I was going to say earlier. And I know we haven't talked about your Chinese story, and it's getting late. But
yeah, yeah, I got to bring that up too.
um, has anybody here, you or in the chat, been on a medical scene of any kind? Something happens, not even common. Somebody has low blood sugar and passes out, things like that.
Yeah.
People lose their fucking minds.
Oh my God,
Car
yeah.
accidents happen regularly. A
Yeah,
car accident happens, and maybe somebody gets a cut, gets a scrape. People lose their effing minds like the world is ending. And it's like,
they can't
listen,
handle
you
it.
need to keep your head. All of you, keep your head right now. There's no reason for you to be losing your minds over something. Imagine if a serious incident took place, y'all wouldn't know what to do. That's
Dude,
that's one thing that I realized set my mindset apart is I had a fender bender years and years ago. And just looking, and to me, yeah, I got a bumper in the front, a bumper on the back. They're torn up. I mean, what can I do? The cop showed up, get some paperwork. It's not a big deal. It was a four car. The kid in the back was going like 60 in a 45, and we were all at a red light. So,
mhm.
but the people there all were just losing it. And it's like,
Yeah,
nobody's injured. Nobody will take, I forgot the psychological phenomena for people that, bystander effect. It's called the bystander effect.
yeah, yeah.
Nobody knows how to take charge of a scene.
Well,
If,
sad thing now is that people and 717, I did actually see that. That was crazy. He domed a police officer with a shotgun, took the AR, and started shooting at the cops
oh,
with
I watched that one too, I
the
think,
AR.
actually. Um,
Yeah, the sad thing now is that the bystander effect is they freeze, but they record with their phones. It's like,
yep.
what, like, how many all right, so how many times have you seen a video where someone's getting attacked by a bear or like a mountain lion and they end up shooting it or whatever, but they have their phone out? I'm like, "Bro,
There's a
you
there's a great meme that came out after the Kyle Rittenhouse shootings, and it was all like the soy boy Wojak faces.
yeah.
So it's looking up from the ground, like the camera perspective is looking up from the ground, and it's just a bunch of like soy boys and Wojaks with their
Oh,
cameras
yeah.
over the top, like this is the last thing they saw. It's just
I
these
saw
fucking
that
cameras over their
with,
face.
what's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Could
and
you
the oh,
imagine? You're dying, you're gurgling on your own blood, and all you see is these fucking
people
cameras.
just recording you. God,
Oh
man, what a way
God.
to go, dude. That
Yeah.
like society in this day and age, man, it's just deteriorated to a point where like I don't know what is left for us, right? And now I've said like I
Rugged
feel like
individualism.
yeah,
Small communities, taking care of your friends and your family. There's nothing a lot of us can do with the shit that's going on the
mhm,
global scale. You almost can't worry about it because there's what power do you have over it? Um, all you can worry about is yourselves, your family, your local community, things like that. That's it.
yeah,
That's all you can
yeah,
deal with.
very true, and
And
becoming
one
as
thing for folks that
self-sufficient
are
as
listening,
possible.
if you are the type of person that can take charge of a scene and even small stuff, somebody passes out or things like that,
Yeah,
if you're the type of person that can stand up and say, you call 911, you get an ice pack, you get this and help that person, people
yeah.
will listen to you a lot of times because
Oh, yeah,
they're looking for that authority to
yeah.
tell them what to do because most people are sheep. They just stand there and,
Yep, they have
so
no
yeah,
idea.
if you're the type that has the mindset to take charge of something like that, absolutely do
Mhm.
it. Don't feel bad either. At the end of the day, do not feel bad that you told people what to do roughly if you did the right thing. So,
Dude, Fluffy Bunny Arsenal, 10 years in EMS. Bro,
yeah,
I got to
Yeah,
get you on the show. If you
that
got
would be
10 years.
interesting. I would listen to that because I guarantee there's some good stories. Dad,
So,
my dad was a firefighter for 28 years, so he's
oh,
got funny
wow.
ones. He, my favorite one is a hobo grabbing him, but it was back in the 80s, mid 80s. So there were no camera phones, there's no GPS, there's no nothing.
Much less hobos as
Yeah,
well.
there was a homeless guy that had been a regular that they went to. It was a drunk. And this, mind you,
Yeah.
this is when they had big D-cell backlights. And they're trying to wake him up to get him to shoo him off this like expensive street corner in Tampa. And the guy, I guess, jumped up and put his hands around Dad's neck. And my father went, "Fuck that," and just domed him with
Clock.
with the D-cell backlights.
Now that you said that, I remember you telling me that story
Yeah,
before
just
because
ding.
I had a family member that I think the statute of limitations is way gone by now, but um, who chose to use a mag light to deter an individual from um, harming him.
Yeah,
And
I don't see a problem with that at all. It's a great use of
yeah,
force.
yeah. Hey, Garrett, good to see you, bro. Thanks for coming in. Hey, DLD, I like Babyface P videos. Watch the ACH helmet videos and
Hey,
others. Hell yeah.
yeah. I got them. I got
Awesome,
one
man.
behind me. Yeah.
Nice. So, there
I
was
might. You guys can still go and talk China. I might crash because I'm slowly dying.
you're
It's
good,
been
man. You're
two
good.
hours, and I want to just stay and talk all night because this is so damn much
No,
fun.
I know you. I told you it wouldn't be that long tonight too because
I
I
could keep
know.
going. If this was a Friday night, I'd keep going and just tell Marley to take the baby on Saturday.
No, dude, you're good. I
Oh,
know you're already running on steam, so I really appreciate you coming on, even with the kiddo keeping you awake.
mm,
And everybody, make sure you go support Babyface P. Hit him up on YouTube, also on Instagram, and he's also an instructor with Freedom Crew University,
I
so you can
am.
see his stuff over there too. And he's doing AK builds, shit like stuff that
There's
a
a
lot of
lot
us.
coming. There's the FFL will be here eventually, and then I will be open to the public somewhat.
I gotta get one of the first few AK builds.
I already got your name on one. Don't worry.
Hell yeah, I appreciate that.
Ooh,
And
thank you, Kurt, for linking my channel. I appreciate that.
nice, there you go. And I bet there's a lot of people here that would love to kick some money out to get on the list when the time is right too. So, but yeah, thank you again, Babyface Pete, for coming on. And guys, stick around. We're going to talk about China in a second.
Night, Chance. It was a pleasure.
All right, brother. Appreciate it, man. All right, so a couple interesting things I did want to talk about. I know we just had the conversation of the shootout that broke every single statistical probability. And guys, remember, like, how often have you heard somebody say, "Oh, well, I only carry a 5-shot J frame because usually every gunfight is 3 shots within 3 yards in 3 seconds." And okay, that may be true, right? But there's other statistics to keep in mind as well. Like, for an example, when you okay, so when you choose to carry a firearm, you are already dealing with such minuscule percentages of possibilities. Okay. So that's kind of when you start to expand into other minuscule possibilities, right? Like if you're already dealing with such statistical improbabilities, then why not you carry a gun, right? Then why not say, okay, then I'll carry an extra mag. Okay, if I'm already dealing with so many statistical improbabilities, then why not also carry a knife and also carry a flashlight and also carry pepper spray, whatever, right? Whatever your kit is, your EDC stuff, okay? So although I understand where people are coming from when they say, well, statistically, all civilian gunfights never use a reload, right? That may be true, right? Or that may be statistically true. Or absolutely, Babyface Pete, you got it, man. Thank you, bro. You're the best. And by the way, I saw that. Hold on. Gabber Piet, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? Let me go back. Yeah, there he goes, Gabber Piet. DLD After Dark. I am 2 months clean from drinking beer all day long, by the way. Hell yeah. Good for you, brother. Keep it up, man. That is so super important. Cleanliness of your mind, your body, that it will change everything. So good for you, man. Keep it up, brother. Everyone give him a little congrats for that, man. That's a big deal. Alcohol is the most difficult drug to kick because it's in every single corner store. Okay. It's also one of the few substances that you can actually die from the withdrawals. So, Gabby, you should be super, super excited for yourself, man. And I hope you I hope you keep going in that direction for as long as possible. I'm coming up on 13 years clean in November 5th. Damn, November 5th, 2010. Yikes, that's crazy. Okay, so getting back to it, everyone give Gabber congrats in the chat there for kicking the booze and for getting clean. That's awesome, man. And speaking of booze, I'm gonna drink my seltzer now. Let me pop this bad boy and we're gonna have a conversation. See if I can pop this with a punch. Wow, there we go. I did not think that was gonna work. Okay. My Topo Chico. Okay, so getting back to it, um, if you're already dealing with so many statistical improbabilities, it's like, well, if I have homeowners insurance and if I have a fire extinguisher, like, why don't I have this? Or if I have health insurance, why don't I get life insurance? If I have life insurance, why don't I get? Of course, you have no intention of actually using it, but you better be damn familiar with it if you are going to have to use it, right? For an example, if you're choosing to carry a firearm, you better be so proficient, surgically accurate with that shit. Okay. And that's why we do things like training. For an example, this weekend, I'm going out to do training with at MD Arsenal with tactical turkeys. I'll be doing intermediate pistol and intermediate rifle. We may even be doing some night shooting there. Shout out to them. I'm pumped. And plus, it was only $300 for a whole weekend of training. That is crazy good prices. Good night, Mike McClune. Peace out, bro. So, when you're dealing with all these improbabilities, right, you start to look at like, okay, what are the statistics? Well, the statistics is that like the likelihood of you being involved in we'll call it a gunfight, but by gunfight, I mean either an exchange of fire or an event where you would have to protect yourself or innocent life, you, your family, loved ones with a firearm. It's actually less than 1%. Okay. However, if you've been involved in we'll call it an I guess should it be we'll call it a gunfight just for the purpose of the conversation, okay? If you've been involved in a gunfight, then the likelihood increases dramatically, which is a mix of uh dramatically and drastically. It increases tremendously, which you're like 2 times more likely to have 3 more events in your life if you've been involved in one. Now, typically that's because they're mixing in people that may have some type of lifestyle or a professional job or something where they're, involved in those types of incidents. So it's not necessarily true for everyone, but that's just the kind of statistics that we're working off of. Now, if you're looking at this, right, and you're like, okay, the likelihood of me ever needing to use a firearm at all is less than 1%, then like, why even carry? Well, in that brief moment, if you ever did have to use your firearm to protect yourself, it would be the most important thing in your world, right? And just like that police officer that unfortunately passed away, right? They make the joke that if you get a malfunction, you have the rest of your life to clear it, right? Well, it may not be that much of a joke in this situation because that police officer was shot and killed. He died with a dead gun, right? His firearm had stopped working. He did and I'm not trying to armchair quarterback because I get it that that was a terrible event, right? But just because statistically speaking, drawing from the drop in almost every situation you would lose. Well, in this situation, the guy didn't lose. Drawing from the drop against 2 people who already had their guns on him, pointed at him, and he killed both of the police officers. That is so crazy. So the reason I bring this up is just to say that even though we look at statistics and kind of look at probabilities and improbabilities, just remember that in real life, when shit goes down, the shit that's going down doesn't care about statistics. Okay. It doesn't care about, what you've studied. You have to make sure that you are equipped with the best equipment that you can have or afford or carry or afford to carry or, be comfortable carrying. Right. And that's why when these folks carry 5-shot J frames and stuff, that's fine. Like technically, I would be okay carrying a 5-shot J frame because I've needed 0 bullets in my life. Now, I did have to draw and present my firearm before, actually on more than one occasion, but as a civilian with a permit lawfully carrying, I've had to draw and present my firearm one time, and I needed 0 bullets. I could have used my firearm in that moment to stop the guy, but he ended up stopping himself, right? And that's why you kind of go through the motions of, okay, can I shoot? Should I shoot? Must I shoot? There's different levels, right? In the situation, could I shoot? Well, could I? Could I be justified? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to. Should I shoot? Like, you probably should, but is it an absolute necessity? And then, of course, must I shoot? Which is, I must shoot. This is absolutely 100% necessary for me to preserve innocent life or to, for self preservation or the preservation of my family or loved ones or whatever. So there's just kind of different things to unpack when you're looking at situations like that. But remember, whatever statistics that you've reviewed, that shit won't matter when it comes down to real life. So here's what I recommend. Whatever firearm you choose to carry, even though, like I've said, looking at statistics, like I've needed zero bullets my entire life, right? Um, Most of you likely have needed 0 bullets your entire life, but it would be the absolute best thing to do would be to carry um, a reliable a reliable firearm with the absolute highest capacity that you can get your hands on, right? That is reasonable. So for me personally, I carry right now 43X. It's actually on a 48 frame, but a 43X with 21 rounds in it. That's just my choice, right? If I do need to use my handgun, I want to have as many rounds as I can possibly have in it. Now, a lot of people are going to disagree with me and be like, "Well, Dark, I only carry a 6+1 380 or whatever in an extra mag." If that's what you believe is best, that's fine. For a typical EDC and self defense situation, that may be okay. But what if, like in this situation, you end up against somebody with a rifle? Or what if you end up against more than one person? Or what if you get pinned in a store and there's a mass tragic event that's occurring, and the only way that you can get out is by using your firearm, and you're stuck with a pocket 380, a Keltec or a Ruger LCP or whatever, with 7 rounds of 380. Are you comfortable with that? And have you become as proficient with that firearm as possible so that you can use it in a way to, you know, shoot somebody that may be wearing armor and still be effective or whatever. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Because there's a lot of ways you can train to shoot around armor, plate carriers and things like that. Mostly headshots, but also we had Stephen Williford come on and talk about anchor shots and you know um, leg shot, thigh shot, rib shots on the side, and then also, of course, headshots as well. But there's so many different things to keep into consideration. Which shooting is it that the guy drew from the drop? There's been a bunch. Actually, there was a crazy video that I saw where. What's up, Howard J? Good to see you, bro. There's a crazy. Hey, P38 Wilbur. What's up, brother? So there was a crazy video that I saw where I think it was either one guy or two guys came into a business, and the guy was he had his permit to carry a concealed handgun. He carried a concealed handgun every single day, but he had a very young child. I think it was like a 2-year-old or something like that. So what he would do is he would take his gun out and he would, chamber around and unchamber around, and he would constantly be taking his gun out, his magazine out, and unchambering the round, putting it in a safe, and then taking it out and then rechambering it every time. Well, apparently, he always kept one in the chamber, but on this day, when he went into his business, into his work, he had a little surprise. Before I get to it, Rudy Finney, bro, thank you. Rudy Finney just gifted 5 DLD After Dark channel memberships. Bro, you're the man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you, dude. You guys, you have no idea how much all this support you guys giving and contributing, it helps so much. Hey, Oliver Drabington was gifted a membership. MC was gifted a membership. Juice 556, Rhino 73, and Tim Hoppa. That's what's up, man. Thank you so much. Um, So what happened was, just keep that in the back of your mind that this guy was taking his gun in and out, in and out, in and out, unchambering it, rechambering it, whatever, and doing dry firing exercises and shit like that. So he had dropped off his daughter, he had gone to work, and it was like a big bay door when you walk in, and then you loop around and you go to his office. Okay. So what happened is I think one guy came in and he was armed, all right? And the guy had a gun in his hand. The other guy was carrying his concealed handgun and it was in his appendix. So the guy came and started talking shit right away and had the gun in his hand and then he raised it. The dude drew his gun from the drop and then extended it and click, he forgot to put a round back in the chamber. Like, oh my god. Now you would think, okay, in that moment, he's gone, he's donezo, right? You literally have 2 muzzles pointing at each other, and in that moment, when you drew from the drop, which you're already at a significant disadvantage because you're looking at a 0.3-second maximum for someone to pull the trigger, and there's a lot of other variables in that, but roughly, on an average, 0.3 seconds for somebody to pull the trigger, okay? Now, this dude drew from his appendix, presented, lined up his sights on the guy, and pressed the trigger, and it clicked. He reached up with his left hand, re-racked it, put around in the chamber, and then started putting shots on the target, and he won the gunfight. So I'm not saying that nobody can draw from the drop. I'm just saying that usually, statistically, you don't win a gunfight when you draw from the drop because there's such a difference in, like, for an example, I worked really hard to get to like the 1.8-second draw to first shot from concealment, right? If somebody's got a gun on me and it takes them as an average 0.3 seconds to pull the trigger, that is a big deficit in the time there. Sabar, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Hang on. DLD After Dark. Do you know if that guy who stabbed the guy robbing his smoke shop in Vegas was ever charged? It's the one where they both came in with masks and were jacking stuff up. So I don't know how that ended, but hey, Barton Fink, what's up, brother? Good to see you. I don't know how that ended as far as charges go. I know that there were a couple mistakes that were made there, very big mistakes. Number one, if you're ever involved, and let me start over. This is not legal advice. I do not give legal advice. I am not a lawyer. I do not pretend to be a lawyer. I don't play one on TV. And if you take legal advice from me, you're stealing. Shout out to CRS. Love you, bro. But let me say it differently then. If I was ever in a situation where I had to use force to preserve innocent life, including my own or family, loved ones, friends, whatever, if I ever have to use force to preserve life, including my own, I am not going to say anything, a damn thing about anything, because there is absolutely no way you could ever say anything that is going to prevent you from going to jail. All right. Likely, if you do use a firearm in self defense, you're going to jail. You're going to get your gun taken. You're going to sit in jail. You're going to be released and bonded out at some point, right? But you're just assume that you're going to jail. That does not always happen, but just assume that you're going to jail. Okay. You may get released right away, right? You may be released on your own recognizance or whatever the situation may be. But this dude didn't, in my opinion, it wasn't a, like we call it, a clean shoot. In my opinion, it wasn't a justified use of force. It was punitive, right? The guy wasn't armed, and I understand why somebody would feel that they were in danger at that point, but he was trying to flee and he stayed attached to him, stabbing him on his way out as he tried to flee. And he was screaming, saying, "No, please stop, stop. He's killing me, bro." And he just continued to stab him over and over. So the guy lived. Okay. The guy fucking lived through that. And I'm talking like a 4.5 inch blade that went down at an angle through his whatever that neck shoulder muscle thing, deltoid or whatever that is, down straight into that and in his back. And I mean, the dude was lighting him up with a decent sized blade, what, 4.5 inches, we're talking, and it was a thick blade too. So that may be like 4.75 or something. But you're talking like a thick blade, right? Do I have a blade around here that there you go. We're talking a thick blade like that, just going in and in and in, and he was tagging him up, man. Um, the problem wasn't even necessarily that. The problem was that after this incident, the guy the next day goes on Reddit and does an AMA. He doesn't ask me anything. Like, what? You have, like, bro, you were lucky enough to stay out of jail, okay? You were lucky enough to, one, live through the incident, right? Because you don't know if they could have pulled out a gun or whatever. You lived through the encounter. You used force, lethal force against the guy. He ended up living, right? But then you do an ask me anything on Reddit. Like, are you crazy? Are you tripping? That is your freedom, bro. Mike Ken, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Totally average size blade. Yes, 100% average. Let's see. Never ever done an AMA. Yeah. I've never done an AMA. Ask me anything. You guys basically ask me anything anyway. There were multiple attackers, and until dude was stabbed and they noticed, they didn't flee. Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm not saying that he um I'm not saying that he did anything wrong. So the way I'm trying to look at it, I'm looking at it through the lens of like how a prosecutor would look at it, right? So do I think he necessarily did anything wrong? No. I think the only person knows w- w- you know he is the only person that knows. I think that in that moment I may have reacted differently, only because you're not looking at openly armed attackers, but you don't know if they're armed or not. You're outnumbered, right? I personally don't like when I always see lethal force used against ordinary force, right? So the guys weren't openly brandishing weapons, but that doesn't mean they didn't have them. So I get that. He was outnumbered and the dude jumped over the counter. Now he jumped over the counter to steal shit, right? So was he protecting the property or was he protecting himself? Or did he think, oh my God, these guys aren't going to leave. They're going to kill me and then they're going to leave, right? Like who knows what he was thinking at that time. He may, and this is why he never should have said anything, because him going on a Reddit ask me anything, right? Like if he says anything at all that would make the prosecutor believe that he didn't think he was going to either deal with, number one, death, or grievous bodily harm, or something absolutely terrible, then he could be in for a hell of a ride. It's the same thing. Like it's something so simple as, like, I'll give an example. I was watching a video and a guy um, blew his horn at a cop. Right, he did a 360 U-turn. The cop did a 360 U-turn because he was going to chase another car. But when that guy blew his horn, he did another U-turn and came back and threw on his lights and sirens and he pulled the guy over, right? Well, the guy pulled over quickly and slammed on his brakes. Well, the cop kept going and he actually ended up hitting him. He ended up hitting his car, right? Now, the guy didn't intentionally slam on his brakes so the cop would hit him. Like, who would do that, right? Like the guy wasn't a nutsack. Like he wasn't crazy. He just pulled over and slammed on his brakes very quickly. But when he pulled over and stopped, the cop was still like 2 lanes over. So the cop definitely rushed it and hit him. I'm not going to say intentionally, but he could have been more cautious. So anyway, through this event, like the guy's cussing at him. He's like, what the fuck? You hit my fucking car, and like he keeps dropping F bombs and stuff. And The guy's like, no, you can't get out and look at the cop is like, no, you can't get out and look at your car. You can't look at the damage. You have to wait until my traffic stop is done. And he's pulling the ego thing on him. And the guy's getting pissed off. And he's like, no, bro, you effing hit me. Like, whatever. The cop pulls him out of the car, throws him in the back of the car, and just like totally manhandles him, cuffs him, and all this shit, right? And then after a moment, he goes back, and the girlfriend or wife or whatever's flipping out in the car, and she's like, "Oh my god, why would you arrest him? Like, is he okay? Can I go talk to him?" And the cop is like, "You need to calm down. You need to chill. You need to, he was yelling and cursing at me. There's no reason to be cursing at me. That's disorderly conduct." It's not disorderly conduct. You can say whatever you want to a police officer as long as they're not fighting words in most cases. And then the cop goes back to the car to where he arrested or where he detained this guy and handcuffed him, and he says, "Are you calmed down now?" Now, typically, you'd look at that and be like, "That's any question. That's a reasonable question, right?" So why would he not answer that? And he says, "I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right and not incriminate myself and stay silent." And the cop's like, "You're not incriminating yourself. It's just a question. Just answer the question, right?" Well, think about it like this. Let's say he said, "Yes, I'm calm now." Then that could be misconstrued as him admitting that he was not calm earlier and that he was acting irrationally earlier and that he was, whatever, right? Or if he said, "No, right, I'm not calm," then right, there's the simplest, most stupid, insignificant thing could end up meaning something, you know, it could have way more of an impact in the future if it's brought to court or something. It's like when insurance situations come up and they call you and they're like, "Hi, Dark, this is so and so from blah 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 insurance. How are you?" And you're like, "Good." And let's say you're claiming injury or damage or whatever, and they say, "Oh, you're good? Okay, thanks." Click. They're like, he said he was good, right? He said he was fine, and this guy's lying here. Whatever. This is a whole nother thing. I'm sorry. The movie Extraction, for all that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Matthew 26:52. The movie Extraction was excellent, and the Extraction 2 was freaking tits. Love it. All right, sorry, I was totally missing chat. DLD After Dark. More MFers die to fists and feet than anything else, and you argue this. Okay, no, no, no. Okay, no. I'm not. I am. Go back to what I was saying. I was saying that matching ordinary force with lethal force isn't, in my opinion, when people get punched in the face and they pull out their gun and say they had to defend themselves, I think that's some vagina ass shit. And I kind of get sick of seeing people meeting lethal force with ordinary force. Now that doesn't mean that, people can't defend themselves, but the only person that can tell what truly is happening in that moment is the person being attacked, because if the person in that situation feels that they are going to be, you know, dropped to the ground, knocked out, disarmed, or whatever, I don't think matching ordinary force with lethal force or matching lethal force with ordinary force is reasonable at all. And I think that if you are attacked, then you probably shouldn't draw a gun immediately if it's just like a one-on-one fight. If you're being attacked by more than one person or whatever, it just depends on all the situations. The problem I'm talking about is that, like, when a guy that's carrying a gun gets punched in the face, right? And it's not even like ordinary force. I'm talking about physical force. And I'm not saying that people can't kill with their bare hands, because it happens all the time. I'm saying that if someone gets punched in the face and they pull out their gun and they shoot the person, and they say, "Oh, I was scared of whatever," that's more of an ego thing than it is a self-preservation thing. Could someone justify if they're older and, what, there's just so many other things to take into consideration in that type of situation. Okay, hear me out. If I let me bring it up. Okay, hear me out. If I have a gun and someone punches me in the face, it's probably not a good idea to get hit twice. Okay. Does that person then do they forfeit their right to live for punching you in the face? Right? Or could you punch back? What I'm saying is it's more reasonable to match ordinary force with ordinary force, avoid the situation, or get an upper hand and to escalate it without lethal force and just hose them down with pepper spray, you know? But I can't say that like I know the answer to every encounter or situation, right? Every single one of them is different. I'm not saying, well, you need to get punched in the face repeatedly until it's time to use lethal force, right? Clearly, I believe in self defense and self preservation. I if I get hit in the face, I might get paralyzed. No, now, no joke. And that's okay. So that's kind of what I was saying, right? It depends on every situation. So if somebody has some type of um, uh, a type of condition where they're more at risk of physical damage, or if somebody is, let's say, older, right, and they can't defend themselves against a younger, stronger, bigger person or whatever, that would be more reasonable. The lens I'm trying to look through is the prosecutor, right, and if it's a clean shoot or a good shoot, but also it's that most of these situations that I see, it's not people that appear, and I'm just looking from the outside looking in, right? It's not people that appear to be, you know, they don't appear to be scared of losing their life. It looks like their ego was bruised. And because they didn't want to be engaged in a fight, or their only options were to not fight, fight, or shoot them, they went with the option of shooting them because their ego was bruised or whatever. Yeah, 10 years ago, let's roll. Yeah, so I think age, physical capabilities, conditions, right? Due knowledge. What's up, brother? Good to see you. And due knowledge can chime in too, right? Like what we're talking about here is like if somebody is armed and they're carrying a handgun for self-preservation and they get in a situation with ordinary force, right? A fist fight, a punch, or whatever. What I'm saying is that somebody shouldn't then escalate that to lethal force unless, there's looking at it through a couple different lenses, unless there is an articulable reason of, age, a health condition, or, like you can't physically, there's got to be some other reason other than like I got punched in the face and that was really inconvenient to me and it bruised my ego. So I wanted to put, a jacketed hollow point in his lungs to stop getting punched in the face. But I think it's different for every situation. That's all I'm saying. If it was an unprovoked attack, I don't think pulling a gun is unreasonable. Now, if I'm being one of a pair of dumbasses fighting over stupid shit, then it isn't. I mean, it just depends, right? Like I've been punched in the face with a gun in my waistband, and your options are disengage and walk away with a bruised ego. And okay, this is generally speaking, right? Your options are disengage, try to de-escalate and walk away with a bruised ego, right? And a, black eye probably. Or fight, which is not the best idea because yeah, you may be applying force more equally, matching ordinary force with ordinary force. But the problem is that then the situation could then just escalate to a situation where you're looking at a lethal force encounter, or use something like a less lethal tool, like pepper spray or something like that. That's all I'm saying. What I'm talking about though is more so from the legal perspective when if you're involved in a shooting where you're going to have to go to court or other people are gonna be determining your freedom. I'm trying to look through that lens of, is shit reasonable? But also, I don't like seeing a lot of times when I see, self-defense encounters and videos and things like that, I feel like people are pulling out their gun because of their ego as opposed to they were truly fearful of losing their life and limbs and whatever. That's all I'm saying. You must fear for your life or grievous bodily. Yeah, totally agree with that. If you fear for your life or grievous bodily harm, absolutely use whatever means you need to defend yourself. I have no quarrels against that. And if that's one guy that's, trying to beat you down or whatever, that you got to be the only one to make that decision in that moment, right? That's what I'm saying can't be applied to everything across the board, right? So don't hate me because I'm saying that. I'm just saying that it's every situation is different, and the only person that's going to be able to determine that is the one individual in that moment, that is the only person in the world that can feel what they're feeling in that moment. If they feel that they're at risk of potential death, grievous bodily harm, or some type of irreparable harm or damage, then do what you got to do. I got nothing against that. Let me go back here. Generally, if we're talking on a legal term, the court will always argue that you always have the option to de-escalate and or walk away from the situation. Yeah, and the other thing is, yeah, it's called disproportionate force. Yeah, yeah. Um, they never had the heart to fight. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, if people, uh, this wouldn't end well, but if you got a gun in your waistband and you're carrying a gun to as a self-defense tool to preserve innocent life, including your own, your family's, loved ones, or whomever, if you end up in a fist fight, sometimes you just keep it at a fist fight, right? Fight. Now, it could escalate to a bad situation, right? It could escalate to a lethal situation, but I just don't think the option is to either leave, disengage, try to. That doesn't always work. A lot of times they follow you. They try, whatever. So many things could happen that could change the circumstances. All I'm saying is that I really dislike seeing all these instances where people discharge their firearm over bruised egos instead of actual fear for their you know uh, life and limb and all that. Anyway, I know, like, the only person that can make that decision is the person in that situation in that moment, and it'll be a matter of seconds, right? That's all I'm saying. Where he promotes shooting dogs. What you talking about, the gay TF? John Correa shoots dogs. Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, he's talked about don't listen to dark, just listen to asp. Active self-protection. I've actually learned some good shit from active self-protection. The thing is, like, you got to pick and choose what you take home when you watch different shit like that. Morality is a subjective matter that's based on a specific person's exact scenario. Yeah, it's too vague just to put a big stamp across it. Let me see. Between a harsh word and a gun, I use Palmo sea spray. Blah blah blah. John Cray or something. So that's actually, so I literally carry Palmo sea spray. Got it right here, and I've never had to use this. I probably got to replace it really soon. But there's been a couple situations where I was like, huh, if this situation escalates, I get to hose this fool down with pepper spray. And the justification for usage of pepper spray is almost nothing. So now, of course, the most important thing is keeping yourself out of those types of situations in the first place, right? Like, not putting yourself in situations, or having such a great awareness about your surroundings, situational awareness, to where you can, avoid a situation or de-escalate a situation, or escape a situation. Anyway, I want to move on to the China thing, and then we're gonna go ahead and uh, wrap it up here. So hang on for 1 second. So percent. Now I'll probably end up getting hit for a copyright thingamajig. By the way, my channel is going to be strike free in like 2 days. I was literally on the cusp of a third strike, bro. It was bad, but I'm good now. I'm good. So we'll see. Why is this ad up here? Come on. Come on. Okay, here we are. All right, so we're gonna hit this video, and we're also going to One of the worst is seeing unarmed people shot and dying in road rage incidents. So unnecessary. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I just think you should match 2 days. Yep, I'll be up there, MD Arsenal. Uh, we may get more strikes while we're up there, for sure. So every other Saturday, it used to be every Saturday. Every other Saturday, I do my show. So I was thinking how dope it would be, since now there's a studio up at MD Arsenal, if we're available Saturday evening at 10 p.m. or even later, if we could get all the guys together and we could all come together in the studio and do the DLD After Dark show on Saturday evening, maybe, or just one of the days on the weekends. That'd be fire if we could do that. That would make me super happy. I moved 60 miles out of what is now a shitty city to avoid situations. So far, it has worked, but I still feel I live too close to a shitty city in the Northwest. Yeah, I feel you, man. It's hard to totally escape it, right? Um, why can't he just Palmosy spray the dog? So, in I've never heard John Correa talking about shooting dogs. I've heard him talk about using OC spray on dogs, but that can definitely be discussed. That sounds like a great time, actually. Okay, cool. Yeah, I would love to. I'll tell you what. If like we got me, you, I'm just gonna take a guess that Fish is not gonna be joining us, but whatever. I may be surprised. We'll see. Me, you, Dust, Dudley, whoever else is there, to all get on a show in a room together on DLD After Dark. That would be fire. So all right, so let's check this out. So this right here is kind of making some serious waves, and a lot of people are focusing on this for a couple of reasons. Which tab was it? Hang on. Okay, so right here, this is the Guardian, of course. So take it as you will, but it says China's army filmed apparently preparing for conflict in Taiwan Strait. The propaganda video shows troops running past anti landing barricades similar to those that dot Taiwan's coast. So, this video was put out and it basically has, let's call it kind of like Easter eggs or subliminal messages throughout the whole thing, basically appearing that they're uh, preparing for conflict in the Taiwan Strait, which, if that happened, that would basically be pressing the World War III button. So let me see if I can bring this up. Like I said, I'll probably get a copyright strike, but let's just check it out. Dark, tell me what type of shim I should use to lower the front of my buddy's optic. It's too high in the front. We can't get it adjusted. The dot is way too high. Opinion. I'll have to get more information on that. If you have to use a shim, then something's wrong. It could be the mount or the optic. I would be curious to know what kind of optic it is and what kind of mount it is, and like yeah, it's a good question. What distance are you zeroing it, and what firearm? Dark, what did you have for dinner? I actually had pizza this evening. I know it's boring and bad for you, but I had pizza. If you did you guys get audio from that? Okay, I think it's coming through. All right, so this says this is part of a 90-second propaganda video the Chinese army has released. Now, the interesting thing, though, someone had said that the United States had released this, uh, and I'll actually touch on that in a second. So these Chads are doing push-ups on the beach with water coming over their backs. That it's not easy, bro. It's not easy. Showing soldiers preparing for a conflict in what appears to be the Taiwan Strait. ICBM? Oh, let's see. That's definitely not a 90-second video. So let's see. Well, we'll read it together here. Let me get back to this and let me do this. Well, that doesn't really show. Okay, we'll keep it there. Actually, boom, there we go. Okay, I think I can actually. Oh, that's fine. I'll just leave it there. Okay, so going back here, let's go through the article. So it says China's army released a propaganda video showing soldiers preparing for a conflict in what appears to be the Taiwan Strait. Hang on. Needed to wet my whistle. The 1.5 minute video published on the Eastern Theater Command's official WeChat account on Thursday is titled Reading the Strait. Interesting, like a Taiwan Strait, and shows soldiers in combat gear doing push ups under crashing waves, a tank battalion driving into the sunset, and troops running up sandy shores past anti landing barricades, which are supposed to look exactly like the ones that dot the Taiwan's coast. The video is accompanied by a catchy ballad. That's cute, a catchy ballad with lyrics such as "Go over the city gate and the high wall and take the freest way. Don't be afraid." And "We turned over the mountain to meet the sunset." I don't know what that means exactly. The WeChat post includes a poem with similar lines. The poem concludes, "You, no matter how dark it is, don't be afraid. Fireflies and moonlight as the guiding light. We ride the wind with our dreams. Chase and win the warmest years." Neither the video nor the WeChat post mention Taiwan directly, but the Eastern Theater Command, a division of the People's Liberation Army, is based on China's eastern coast and has responsibility for the Taiwan Strait. It is the military division that periodically conducts drills around the self-governed island of Taiwan. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Which Beijing claims as a part of its territory. Last month, Xi Jinping, China's president, toured the command's headquarters in Nanjing and urged the military to improve its war readiness, while praising the significant contributions of the command in safeguarding China's territorial integrity. The post published on Thursday said Eastern Theater Command soldiers were ready to fight all the time, ready to fight at any time. I think that's the end of it there. It's just, let me go back here. So I got to click through all these different tabs. Well, those who ask, like, so when will World War III start? I saw that. I saw that. Okay, so that's, I don't know if that's a troll or what, but that's super suspect. I don't believe that that's that's a real thing. But it appears that they're putting out a video that's propaganda that is basically showcasing them preparing to and glorifying them attacking the Taiwan, from the Taiwan Strait, which, if that did occur, would absolutely be the beginning of World War III. So it's really strange that we keep seeing these situations pop up. So don't care. Someone hook me up with a FLIR camera to shove in the hood of my car. Have you guys seen those videos of people farting on FLIR cameras? That shit is gas. Get it? Doo-doonts. I ain't fighting that shit. They can lock me up for malingering because it's not the territory, but the semiconductor production that we care about. There's man, everything from the pulling out of Afghanistan to, China dealing directly with the, with the Taliban to basically take on the most rich, Jesus Christ, what's that shit called? Sorry, it's late over here. It's almost 1 a.m. The fucking battery shit. Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. From everything from, us basically bailing on Afghanistan and, giving the fucking ion. What's the ion shit? The ion. Jesus Christ. Someone help me out here. Well, whatever. Anyway, I don't care. Look, if we end up in, someone said this a few shows ago, and they were like, we will have more in common with the enemy than we would have common with the people that are, pushing us to fight. I don't believe in fighting for anything but my own personal, uh, you know, personal self-preservation and the preservation of other innocent life of like my family and others. I will not personally engage with any bullshit war, any draft, any garbage ass shit that the government tries to pull. I don't believe in any of it, and I think every single thing that the government is doing, lithium. Thank you, God. I'm sorry, guys. Um, the You would think that I would, have all this shit. It's just, words are hard. Long time, no sleep. Anyway, every single thing that the government has been doing has been to spite the American people, has been in effect hurting the American people, and then coming back and controlling and programming the same American people that you're willing to put up. And they don't give a shit about all the military age males that they would put up to go fight their war for them. And honestly, I think that if we did end up in World War III, that the United States would have a hand in it and profit from it. And I think that everything that's been happening between the US and China and Russia and Ukraine and all that shit, this is the new world order working together against us. We are now the enemy because they can line their pockets with riches from all these other countries while they pull apart and destroy the American people, while they neutralize the biggest threat to them, which is the military age male in the United States that is armed and believes in liberty, freedom, independence, and self preservation. And, I think that the enemy, I should probably be careful with how I word this. um, it's likely that our enemy is already on our soil. I'll just say that. Okay. And don't believe anything the government says, and focus on yourself and your family. Focus on water, food, shelter, security. And by security, I mean military grade firearms and ammunition, lawful, of course, only do shit lawfully, but fighting rifles, fighting carbines, uh, you know, uh, modern semi-automatic sidearms, things that would be used traditionally with military conflicts. And it wouldn't be bad to have some understanding of energetics as well, because you never know what may happen in the future. Stop, Dark. You're almost strike free. I know, I know, I know. I'm just saying, look, I care about you guys. I care about us as a country, and I have zero faith in the United States government. I don't even know what's going to happen next year with the erection, right? Are we going to have an erection? Are we like, is it even going to exist? Did it already occur? Right? Like, I have no idea what to expect, but I know that no matter what, it will not be in our favor. And yeah. Oh, here comes the Uno reverse card. No more strike free channel. Yeah, for real. Sleeper cells. And I think the open southern border serves up a pretext for military intervention. Hold on. In Mexico and Latin America, which is where the regional manufacturing is supposed to locate. It's interesting because I've seen a lot of videos where the people that are coming through all of these stations that are basically being released into the United States, a lot of them are Chinese. A lot of them are from China that came in through the southern border. And it's like, why are y'all here? Then you guys see, like, yeah, I brought this up before on a couple shows, the whole um, Chinese purchased properties around the Air Force Base, the Flannery company that purchased 1.2 billion worth of land assets, property near what's that Air Force Base on the Pacific. I'd have to pull it up to see, but just really weird shit. And then we're dealing with all this right at the same time when we're recovering from COVID. What this country has done to itself, uh, give or take. And a lot we as the American people did too. You know, we're victims of our own. Yeah. But anyway, as the country is recovering from the last few years, last 3.5 years or so, I have never in my life walked through a grocery store and seen as many shelves like I do now that say, "We're sorry, this item is unavailable due to a, whatever supply chain issue or whatever." Like, shit is way more expensive now than it ever has been. More shit is unavailable, and this is happening at the same time where, um, people are losing their jobs, right? Like, that's obviously happening. Shit is becoming more expensive. We're, and right on the threshold of conflict with other countries. We're dealing with, companies that God, man, I mean, everything has fallen apart over the last few years, and now it's like all our security measures, like if the United States was a building, okay, we have lost all security in the building. People are running rampant in the building. They're running amok in the building, and we have no security measures. We have no way to keep them out. We have no way to get them out once they're here, and part of me thinks that they want that anyway, because if we were to actually secure the border and keep people from coming in, like, why don't we have this issue really with Canada, right? We don't have it as much with Canada. Of course, we have some, right? But we just don't have that issue with it. We have the issue with the southern border because look how much money we're pulling out for defending the southern border, right? Like, imagine if the war on drugs ended, right? Imagine if, the border was secure, and imagine if like that in itself, those 2 things would totally change the economic nature of the United States almost immediately, right? And God, yeah, we just need recovery here, and I'm nervous that the only place recovery can come is from torching the structure and rebuilding it from the foundation. Anyway, all right. On that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and break out. The most important thing is that you guys take care of yourselves, take care of your physical health, take care of your psychological health, take care of your family. Make sure that you are, keeping your tools with you. Seek out training, stock up on, obviously, like I said, water, food, shelter, security, your ammo, your firearms, your guns, your gear, your armor. Would get all your shit tight, and they can't take training and education from you. They can't take your own, growth and the things that you choose to do to become a better person, a better defender. So focus on those things. Like I said, this weekend I'll be doing training, intermediate pistol, intermediate rifle, that carbine fighter course, son. And even though I'm going to be using ammo, which I'm pointing to, it's over there. Even though I'm going to be using ammo, which is very important to me, um, the ability to become more well trained, and be a better, be a better knight, a better swordsman, right? That's the most important thing. But also don't forget to stock up too, because that shit's important. Um, so on Saturday, I'm going to be running. So I'll go over my kit real quick. So I'll be using. I got level 4 plates. They're the R RTS RMA level. I got to pull them out. I don't know. I got them in a trade. Level 4 plates, ceramics with a shellback plate carrier. And I got a 10.3-inch 5.56 that I put together. It's an LWRC lower with a the PDW style pistol brace on it, and a BCM upper with a BCM bolt carrier group and charging handle, and a Colt 10.3-inch barrel with a, I think that one was a BCM gas tube, and a BCM, yeah, BCM gas block, and a Midwest Industries handguard with an AAC SDN6 suppressor on a 30 cal suppressor. And I got the Cyclops 1X prismatic optic on it with a goon beam on that thing. Yeah, LWRCs are great. I love those. Knowledge will probably call LWRCs mid tier because he's a Knights Armament guy. but my LWRCs have run fantastically. This one also has a binary trigger, and I find that to be highly effective if you need to throw the switch over and you know, bust rounds a little bit faster or keep some heads down. And then for my sidearm, what did I say? Yeah, I covered the optic, covered the suppressor. It's an AAC SDN6. It's a 30 cal can on a 10.3-inch 5.56. And usually I would run my 19X, but I'm taking off the 19X and I'm going to be running my Beretta M9A3. I've basically moved over to that gun almost exclusively for sidearm, for, we'll call it duty style duty. Um, Overt carry, I'm going with the Beretta. It in one sense it's bad because, well, if I'm thinking from like a small unit tactic standpoint, being able to share magazines with my boys is really important, but I'll take accuracy over that any day, and I'll just carry extra ammunition, right? I got 3 pistol mags on me and a mag in the gun, and then I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm only running 5 mags with this setup. I got another setup that holds more magazines, but with this setup, I got 5 AR mags on the plate carrier, 1 AR mag on the belt, and then 1 AR mag in the gun. So I'm gonna have 6 AR mags on me, 1 mag in the gun, and then 1, 2, 3 pistol mags on me, 1 pistol mag in the gun, and I may bring the Serbu Super Shorty, the little 6.5-inch barrel 12 gauge out there, just because it's woo, excuse me. No, binary triggers are totally legal. Excuse me. Forced reset triggers are machine guns in the eyes of the ATF, but binary triggers are totally legal. Um, Holy battle loadout. God damn, son. 5 on the plate. Yeah, but the shellback is actually really, really comfortable to carry 5 on the plate carrier. So I got 3 mags in the front right here, and then shellback in the cummerbund. You can actually really easily, and you don't even feel that they're there, carry 1 more under your arms really easily. It's like they're not even there. You'll see when I see you when I bring my kit. They're very, very tightly in the cummerbund. Now I have another cummerbund that is armored, where I have level 3A double stacked all the way around it, but I'm not using that cummerbund. This is one of the stretchy ones that you can put mags and pouches and other shit in there. Like I got multi tools and stuff. But right now, my biggest issue right now is that my um, so my yeah, I remember you telling me about that, Tim. That's unfortunate. Um, Only run 3 on the placard, 1 on the belt, 1 in the gun. Yeah, and that's totally reasonable too, right? Like I've my biggest issue right now is my med kit on my belt is huge. And I I've reevaluated what I have in the medical kit, and some may say that I have too much in it, but man, when it comes to medical, it's like, bro, if you need that shit, damn, I will not be saying, man, I carry too much if I'm, sitting with a sucking chest wound. So I don't know. I'm reevaluating because I have a smaller med kit, and the large one, it's just too much of a pain in the ass. It bumps around and moves around all the time. If I go to sit down, it doesn't slide on the rails properly. It's one of the med kits that the it's the so when you stick the molly webbing through the belt, the med kit actually can slide up and down, right? So if you go to sit down in a car, it's supposed to slide up by itself, right? And then when you stand up, it's supposed to slide down by itself. So that way it's not so much of an encumbrance on you, right? Well, the problem is that when you pull your belt tight, right? It's a blue alpha belt. And when you lock that shit in tightly, and I like my battle belt tight, right? It doesn't move as freely where it is. So I don't know. I kind of want to reevaluate. Maybe I'll bust out my medical stuff and let you take a look at it, and see if I'm rocking too much medical, or I basically split it up between like, all right, this is the stuff that I 100% absolutely need, and this is the stuff that's good to have. Maybe I separate it because I also have a little level 3A dangle pouch, groin pouch below my plate carrier. I was thinking of taking some of the shit out of there and putting secondary medical stuff in there. The problem is that if, in my small unit tactics concept, if my guys know that my med kit is on my belt on my lower back, well, they may not know that my other medical shit is in front of me in the little groin swing thing. So I run a med kit on my front dangler on my carrier and 5 o'clock admin pouch. Okay, so maybe it would be reasonable to kind of separate that stuff up a little bit. Smells fishy. Paramedic in a bag. Yeah, right. Um, I've seen suspicious posts on Gunbroker with binary triggers offering stocks with the guns, like a CZ Scorpion with 6 30-round mags, a binary trigger, and a stock. Well, I mean, it depends if it's an actual stock or if it's a brace. But I mean, yeah, anything that looks suspect on Gunbroker, it is 100% a Fed op because we've seen what they've done over the last few years, especially over the last like year with the unfinished frames and receivers bullshit. Like the moment that we were allowed to sell them again, like 300 accounts all were pulled off of Gunbroker. Like, oh, those were all Fed accounts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dark likes his battle belt like he likes his women. Tight. If you have the Fostic Echo binary, you can buy a spring to lighten the trigger pull. So that's what I did, and holy shit. Now, Dude Knowledge is gonna hate this, but when you replace that spring, your trigger is nicer than a Geisley. 100%. Geisler, super carbine, super whatever. It's better, 10 times better. It is super, super light, super crisp, and that thing, oh, bro, it's crazy. It's a stock, doesn't come attached. Yeah, see, with that, I would be super cautious of because that could be misconstrued or could be construed as constructive intent, which obviously, yeah, constructive intent honeypot. Boom. See, when you have time, yeah, I'll take a look at it when I get off. I assume they're trying to get you with constructive. Yeah, it could be. It could be. I wouldn't trust it, man. There's no discount that would be worth your freedom. SOP is the front IFAC is for you to use, and the rear belt kit is for others to use on you. See, for the people that I know locally, it's always been the med kit on your back is for you, and but hey, I'm totally open to learn. So, let me know. All good. Jokes on y'all. I don't run a Geisley. I run a factory trigger. Oh, that's right. That's right. You're mil spec Mickey over there. And I got nothing against Geisleys. And like, bro, if you got an AK, bro, put a what is it? ALG. What's that trigger? ALG? Hey, man, I don't know, but that shit is fire. The best AK trigger, hands down. It is nuts. But yeah, I got a binary trigger in my Scorpion, binary trigger in my 10.3-inch 5.56, and a binary trigger in my MP5. Those are currently totally lawful, and there's nothing currently, uh, saying that they're illegal, gonna be illegal, or anything at all. Of course, I believe one day they're likely going to attack them, but fuck them. Um, the thing that we have to worry about is when they classify something as such, right? So the forced reset triggers were never an issue. I never purchased one, never had one, but even before I got a chance to get my hands on one or shoot one or shoot a buddies or anything at all, the ATF was like, boom, this is a machine gun, which is crazy because you would think that they would actually need to go through Congress and pass legislation and make it actual law. But what they do is they say, no, our opinion is that this is a machine gun. So because we say it's a machine gun, Now this is, filed under, you know, US 18 USC or ALG. That's right. Thank you. You know, Title 18 USC or whatever the hell. So there's already federal law existing for that. So because they say it's a machine gun, even though there's nothing other than their opinion saying that, it's you're fucked. They can still throw all the weight of the federal law at your ass. The ATF will try and prosecute you for possessing a binary trigger. Ask me how I know. The federal prosecutor denied to pick up charges. Yeah, but that's one situation of cops, the same cops that also said your pistol was an SBR. If cops were, if the ATF was going door to door saying that binary triggers were machine guns, or if there was a white paper that surfaced that said that that the ATF was. So look back to when everything first started happening with the force reset triggers, right? The FRTs. The first thing they did once they made that opinion was they sent a white paper to all law enforcement, to all, yeah, because they say so. Yep. Um, ALG. Yep. To all law enforcement, to all FFLs, to everyone. They published it on their website. They tweeted it. They put it everywhere that force reset triggers are machine guns. Here are pictures of them. Here's what they look like. Here are the manufacturers. That kind of thing. So even though cops can make bad decisions, and they can enforce laws incorrectly, right, and make bad calls. I've seen cops that just being able to move the selector to the third position is like, oh my god, that's a machine gun. It's like, man, you really don't know shit, do you? There's even semi-auto triggers that just for a troll you can move to the third position, right? But they're just semi-auto. But anyway, it's any cop can charge you with anything, but the ATF is not currently saying binary triggers are machine guns. They probably will, right? They're attacking all of our rights, all of our natural rights that are supposed to be protected by the Constitution. And as a matter of fact, I want you guys to remember this, okay? Remember the state of the world that we're living in right now. And also remember that the only job of the government, okay? The only job of the government is to protect your natural rights, to protect your natural rights, and to be certain that the Constitution is protecting your natural rights, your constitutionally protected natural rights that were given to you by God. That's their only job. And tell me how they're doing so far on that job. When you can control language, anything is possible. Facts. I mean, we're talking about the same agency who said SBRs are scary and more dangerous than 16-inch barrel rifles. I know it. I know. Oh, trust me, I'm not giving them any fucking leeway. Like I get it. They could publish a white paper tomorrow that says these are now machine guns, right? Then, but I mean, I also look. When it came to unfinished frames and receivers and pistol braces, I was like, nope, that's my line. Now, luckily, both things have ended in a way so far that that line hasn't had to be crossed over. But I should probably stop stop talking. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank you all so much. And if anybody is in the area of the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, or within a few hours driving distance, I would encourage you guys. It would be really, really, really worth it. I tell you guys, for channel members, that I do, a few events each year, which really just means that, like, I'm going a place and I'll tell you guys that I'm going there. And if people can come, then they can come. If not, it's totally cool. But just let all you guys know that, this is one of those times where I will be at MD Arsenal on the 19th and 20th. And if you want to come, it is going to be an excellent training opportunity. You're going to have the tactical turkeys there. You're going to have dude knowledge, dust, probably not fish, maybe fish, probably not fish. You're going to have, I think Tac Life J may even be there. We'll see. I don't know. And to protect the border, total failure. Facts. Yeah, and just a whole bunch of great people. There's going to be, I'm sure, like Guns and Butter are going to be there. Maybe Black Rambo will be there. There may be a bunch of awesome people there. So if you can, you're looking at $150 per day for Saturday and $150 for Sunday. That is the best price training on the East Coast, dude. I was just looking at an intermediate pistol course that was $398 for like 3 hours, and then I was looking at an intermediate carbine course that was $598. So we're talking six, seven, eight, nine, so $1,000 for 2 days, which is really 3 hours here, 3 hours here, so 6 hours. This is going to be more hours for $300 total, plus a range fee and stuff. So anyway, I would highly recommend that you guys do it. Go to tactical-turkeys.com. If you want to come and meet me, any viewer, any member, any homie is welcome out there. Assassination attempts are welcome as well. I highly encourage anyone that if you really feel that deeply about me, then just please just come get it on, because hey, I wouldn't mind, cracking off some shots. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding, just joking, just joking. Anyway, guys, look, I love you all so much. I appreciate all you guys for coming and hanging out. I know tonight we were kind of all over the place, but thank you to Babyface P for coming and hanging out. Dude Knowledge, great to see you. And Fluffy Bunny, Gabber, all you guys, man. John Doe, what's up, brother? Appreciate you. All you guys, y'all rock. I appreciate you. So in closing, let's focus on on just the baller close that we always do together. Also, remember that the homies over at Tack Knives always have some super dope stuff. And some guy actually commented, he was like, "Oh, these are just a bunch of junk quality knives. Like, if you're a real collector, why don't you have a Microtech?" Just saying. But anyway, I had said, well, these are really affordable and they're made of great materials. And I've never had a problem with any of my tack knives at all. By the way, if you use code DARK, you save 20% off your tack knives. Do you have any experience with tack knives, or has one failed you in the past? It's weird. They have no experience with the brand. They just say they're junk without even trying them out. Anyway, guys, the blades here, tack knives are awesome. Gideon Optics. If you use code DARK at tack knives, you save 20% off. If you use code GLOWIES at Gideon, go to the description in this and every single video I got, and there are different ways to support the channel. With everything I got going on right now, it'll be super helpful. And you can use code GLOWIES at Gideon Optics. If you use the affiliate link and use code GLOWIES, you save 10% off. And a whole bunch of stuff in there. Goonbeam, you can use code DARK, all that stuff. It's great. And yeah, I mean, they're great. Tack knives, man, to the shit. And I think what I'm gonna do is take one of those. I'll probably take a few of the higher end, higher quality tack knives, and just take it out to like some cardboard boxes that I've taped together and just start stabbing the dog shit out of it until they fail, and just kind of see how they do. And I don't know. I mean, honestly, these have really been great. The thing with OTFs though, before we close out real quick, the thing with OTFs, these are really made for like utilitarian purposes. Okay. These blades cannot have a lot of stress and pressure on them, because the only thing that is holding these blades in an OTF up are two little tiny shelves of steel. And I mean like smaller than a tic tac, right? That's the thing that moves, that allows it to go up and down. Google a picture of an OTF opened up, and it's just like a little steel flap, right? So yes, if you use higher quality blades, obviously this isn't an OTF, right? This would be way stronger than an OTF. But if you're using, better quality blades, better quality steel, and better quality internals, then yes, of course, you're gonna, get better results from better material. Is it worth $400 or $500? Maybe, depends. I got a bayonet because Ontario is going out of business. Okay, C3. Oh, what? Ontario is going out of business? That sucks, man. Dark, have you put together your link and code page? No, I didn't put together a page. I kind of been discouraged to do that because, I mean, not discouraged, but, you know, every single like Instagram, YouTube, all these bullshit social medias, they all see through that and they're nuking link trees and shit like that left and right. But I'll put something together. But I got to piss really bad, so I'm going to close it out. So everyone for coming in, thank you so much. I appreciate all you guys so much. And remember, rule one, which is to be kind. It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. Hey, Marconi, what's up, bro? It's so important that we're kind in everything that we do. That brief interaction that you have with somebody else could have a massive impact on their life. So just be kind. Rule number two is live a life of care, compassion, contribution, give to others. When you bless others, you become blessed. A hand that's open to give is open to receive, right? And rule number three, because we know the only way for us to defeat evil is with good men skilled in violence. Make sure that you're becoming as highly skilled in violence as you possibly can be, and be safe, be dangerous, and keep that thing on you. And I got to piss so bad. Rudy Finney with the $20 super chat. $25 super chat. Thank you so much. Great show, Dark. Stay safe, everyone, and be kind. P.S. Your chat family here rocks. Hell yeah. Bro, you rock. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate all y'all. I love all y'all. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace. Hopefully Saturday with the Tactical Turkeys. I'll see y'all later.